Hello, everybody. Welcome to this symphony of madness. It's going to be lots of fun. Welcome to The Keep. We are having our Sanctum series today. And before we jump into the game, we have just a few announcements. Let's go ahead and we'll start off with Take This. They are a wonderful nonprofit. They are working really hard to decrease the stigma of mental health issues in the gaming community, raise awareness, and provide resources for those of us who do struggle with that. So they do a lot of really good work. So please, if you can, donate. If you can't donate, spread the word, check them out on social media. They are doing some awesome things. Speaking of social media, you should also check out our Twitter and our Instagram. Yay! We are The Keep RPG across the social medias, so please go check us out. Especially on Instagram, we have some of our minis painted. You get close-up views of the things that are a little harder to see on the battle cam. You can see close-ups of the party members and some of the monsters that they fight, and just some cool minis that I paint that, not just me, Wes paints too. The ones that we paint because they're really cool looking monsters.
They're terrifying.
They're wonderful. I love painting the monsters. There's something so soothing and just zen about sitting down with a paintbrush to create monsters that will totally kill y'all. I love it so much.
These monsters slay in every sense.
Oh yes. So definitely check those out. Once again, that is The Keep RPG. Also, if you have a moment, check out another awesome Texas-based stream, Dinner and a Game. They are trying some new things and moving into some new spaces, and it's very exciting for them. As I drop my pencil. Ignore that.
You drew our attention to it. We all heard it.
Absolutely, 100%. But if I acknowledge it, then it loses all power to embarrass me, right? That's how it works.
That's exactly how it works.
Speaking of not embarrassing me, Dinner and a Game is doing some awesome things, so check them out on twitch.tv. I believe they have the twitch.tv/Dinner and a Game is where they do most of their streaming. Oh, speaking of streaming things, Garrett, you have an awesome YouTube channel.
Woo!
Yeah.
This is a test of the emergency Hey Listen programs. In the event of an actual thing where I can't be freaking heard, more information and character and story-related details or role actions or questions will be provided. Okay. Thank you again. This has been a test of the emergency Hey Listen system. Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Hey, don't throw that too far. You may need it.
You forgot to plug your channel.
Oh yeah, I do YouTube.
So Garrett has his channel, Night Shift Night, and we will have the link in the description so y'all can check him out. It is a ton of fun. So definitely go check that out.
I'm actually like a fart hair away from finishing Captain Rex to make the wearable video where I'm like, hey, look, stuff, I did it. So
Yay.
Very nice.
That's a lot of fun.
That should be the next thing. If I have enough storage space for footage on devices, we'll figure it out.
Isn't that always how it goes? Technology can be difficult sometimes.
Technology can be doo-doo.
Speaking of other things you should check out, next Tuesday, y'all. I'm going to turn this over to Jay to explain exactly what's happening.
All right, so we are dipping our toes into the podcast world. We are doing live podcasts that are also aired on Twitch, and we're looking at YouTube and all that other stuff. But these are going to be our first experiments into the podcast world. We did one last Tuesday. Yeah, last Tuesday. Not the yesterday Tuesday, the previous Tuesday, where I had Jordan come on, and honestly, it's just me having an excuse to hang out with my friends one-on-one, talk about stuff, get to know them better, let you guys get to know them better. You and the audience, obviously, we know each other. And ask questions, or if you're Wes, declare things to be canon that happened in real life.
I have that ability. Don't you know that?
But it's a lot of fun. We had a great time. At least I had a great time. I hope Jordan had a great time. So yeah, come check out our surprise mystery guest for next Tuesday, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. It is at 7 p.m. Central Time, and it's on our. You can catch us live on our Twitch page at twitch.tv/keep the Keep RPG. That's a mouthful. And yeah, that's it.
Important question, Garrett. Is that a banana?
Of course, you always bring a banana to a party.
Okay.
It didn't work.
Okay. I just saw him lighting a banana on fire, which was real curious. Oh, did you put the incense in the banana?
No, I was just seeing if the banana would light.
Because what else do you do? Garrett, please don't burn your house down.
I do like living here.
Oh.
Good deal, good deal.
So yeah,
All right.
back to you, Lauren.
Blood of
Wonderful.
dragon!
Thank you very much. Garrett, you really make me want to light a candle now. We'll see.
I mean,
right.
you don't need to ask permission. You do you, boo.
Maybe later. So, no further announcements. Let's go ahead and jump into the game. When last we left our heroes, after rescuing Hari Reslin from the Feywild, the 11th Hour teleported just outside the city of Dragenthrone, encountering the spirit of Asha, a former Arbiter of Bahamut and Soyux's spiritual predecessor. After making their way from the mountainside down to the city, with some interesting discussions about the flight speed of an unladen eagle, the group entered the city as subtly as they know how, which is to say, only slightly. After a brief shopping excursion, where the group learned about the Brotherhood being brought into the church as a newly appointed sect, they head to Gertie Gadsworth's Gamut of Goods. They meet Gertie, do a little bit more shopping, and meet up with Sarai for tea in the back of this little shop. Not so little shop, really. Shortly thereafter, they're joined by Harker, a member of the Dragon's Guard, and also a member of one of the Knightly Orders. Harker reports to Gertie as the group listens in, and then Sarai offers to lead everyone down the well to where Vanera has been hiding, with maybe some pest control needed along the way. On their way through the sewer system, you encountered several patrols of kobolds and a larger gathering in a room that y'all had to pass through. When the kobolds started dragging in a cat and some sort of figure in a large bag, you attacked, wiping out the majority of them with the first couple of spells, including a nice fireball bead. Yay! Before the last of the kobolds expired, they called for Griknako, and a large reptilian quadruped came pounding around the corner. Rai charmed the creature. You managed to take the kobold chieftain captive in Nightbane pseudopods, and you paused for a brief moment before you are prepared to continue. Let's go ahead and pick up at that moment. The battle has ended, like just now ended, with Rai charming the monster into friendliness towards y'all. What are you doing?
Bringing a body.
Okay.
Inspecting the person in the bag.
Okay. All netted up and wrapped in various pieces of cloth and leather, secured in this, essentially, like, you know, in the Lord of the Rings movie, when Frodo's wrapped up by Shelob, and essentially it's just his face that's visible. Like, he is almost that tightly wrapped up, and you can tell it is a he. It is a, looks like a human he, a young male, late teens, early 20s, dark hair tied back in a low ponytail, unconscious at this point. So you go ahead and you start untying and unknotting and cutting through some of the ropes to free him. That'll go ahead and take you a couple of minutes to get done. What's everybody else doing at this point?
Seeing that he's taken care of, I will start going through and seeing if there's anything of import on the kobolds.
Okay.
I'm going
absolutely.
to ask Brad a question.
Real quick, Solyex, make an investigation check.
Okay.
Val?
Rye, how long does your control over this creature last?
Long enough, and I'm gonna walk down towards where the dead kobolds are that Solyex killed, make a very sour face, and then tell the armored horned lizard creature to come over and fight both of them, and then the same thing to the ones that are in the little front space.
Okay. Did you charm or did you dominate?
Charm.
Okay. Make an animal handling check.
You almost had a happy face on that one.
Solyex, what was the investigation?
6.
6? Ooh.
I'm
Okay.
good at things.
So you find about 83 silver pieces in various bags. You find a couple of trinkets and knickknacks. You find a tooth from some unknown beast, a fairly large scale, dark gray or maybe black. You find a pipe designed to blow bubbles.
I don't know why that was so funny.
A pair of old socks, a 1 ounce block, just a tiny little square of some unknown metal, and you find a bag, a leather bag, and it catches your eye because it is in pristine condition. It's about 8 ounces or 8 inches long, made of leather with a strap that is designed to go over your shoulder. There's a sort of flap that folds over it to keep it closed. There's a little button, and the button is actually carved wood in the shape of a cat head. There's mint green sort of detailing on the leather itself.
What's in it? I'm gonna look in it, obviously.
You open up and you look in it, and it's in shadow. It's hard to see. Make a perception check.
Dark vision doesn't help.
Nope, that's only a 7.
A 7? You don't see anything in particular. It's a dark space. You do hear a faint, soft sort of meow?
Reach in the bag!
From within the bag? Yeah, I'm reaching my stone hand into the bag.
Alright. You reach your stone hand into the bag. You feel fur.
Pulling it out. What is this?
Stone can feel fur?
You pull out a cat.
Just a regular old cat?
Orange tabby, thick, fluffy. It's a little kitten, adolescent. It is large for its size. It's got a little bit of that kitten belly still on it. It looks at you with warm brown eyes. And as you've got it scruffed and you're holding it, it starts trying to rub its head along your hand and just starts purring.
Albert, I found a cat.
So hold on. So basically,
I'm working on something, mate.
Okay.
Keep it close. Get a friend. You need one.
I found a cat.
So basically, the cat's out of the bag?
I was waiting for it. Yes.
Make a crook in your arm and pet. You can do this. I believe in you.
I'm going to go to Nightbane, and I'm going to put the cat down, and I'm going to grab the kobolds from Nightbane and start tying up the unconscious kobold and just leave the cat next to Nightbane and see what happens.
Alright. You set the cat on the ground next to Nightbane, and the cat just sort of looks up and up and up at this massive cat-like creature, and then it starts trotting forward and starts rubbing its body against Nightbane. Nightbane sort of looks over at Halbert. It's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Nightbane,
Just gonna.
this is cat. Give me dead kobold.
It's not dead.
Give me unconscious kobold.
Nightbane sort of looks at you with pleading eyes, like, really?
It's a fair trade.
Slowly, very slowly, looking over at Halbert just to double check. Halbert, what are you doing?
I'm gonna chuckle. And I'll just nod and call Nightbane over.
Okay. You call Nightbane over. Nightbane carries the kobold to Halberd, and the kitten just starts trotting after. Nightbane sort of like scoots his rear end around so he can the kitten in his profile.
Nightbane is now this kitten's new god.
Yep. Yep.
So yes, make another perception check.
There's more.
11.
You still hear this cat-like meowing sound come out of the bag.
I reach into the bag again.
You pull out another cat. This one is a calico with blue eyes and is looking up at you.
I take the bag and I turn it inside out on the ground.
You take the bag. You turn it inside out.
I feel like it's a bag holding cats.
There's a cat that drops out. And then another. And then another. And then they just start pouring out one after the other. A flood of cats starts to fill the area. There are 50, 100,
all right.
600, 500 cats.
Whenever I realize that this is a bag of holding of cats, I'm turning it back.
So what?
When I realize it's a bag of holding of cats, I'm turning it back and I'm just shoving cats back in the bag.
Val, hearing all this, is going to come in and be like,
"Oh no, this is impossible to avoid. Like there are now 500 cats that are just
back in the bag,
scattering through the room. They're like spreading out 30, 40 feet away from
I'm faster than you. Come here.
As your go ahead and make a dexterity check, Solyax, to see how quickly you can catch them and try and get them back in the bag.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. Yes, Garrett.
While he's doing that, is my boy like breathing? Is he alive? Is he now covered in cat?
Your boy is now breathing. He is alive. He is definitely covered in cat. There are cats almost everywhere in this room. Like,
there's like 4 of them in my beard.
Imagine an AoE effect, like a 30-foot radius, where the cats are just radiating out from this source. And they are romping with each other, they are meowing, they are tumbling end over end, pouncing on each other. Like hundreds of cats that are still slowly spreading from this origin point.
So basically, he had let off the equivalent of a feline atom bomb.
Essentially.
This is a cat of holding.
Yeah, Val is just gonna look around and be like, "So, this is heaven," and he's just gonna like pick up an armful of cats and hold on to them a second, and then realizing that the room is filling up, he's gonna be like, Solyax?
No, the bag's already correct. I'm fixing the issue now. I'm putting cats back in the bag.
Would you like some help?
You're getting, another. Roll a d12 for me.
D12?
D12.
1.
12.
12, awesome. So in the first couple of seconds, you're like, oh my gosh, and so there's so many of them that are still right there at your feet, a little stunned from being poured out of this bag. You're getting like 12 of these kittens stuffed back into the bag as quickly as you can. But
Val's gonna walk over with his arm.
Starting to spread out. Val, make a dexterity check.
Is this item from like the cartoon dimension?
That would be a 12.
That would be a 12. Okay, awesome. As you're going, you're scooping up another 12 of these cats and various sizes, various ages. The ones you're getting are either really young and are not moving as quickly, or a little bit older, a little bit more sedate, and willing to be sort of scooped up. And you've got like an armful of cats at this point. Yeah. They're curling up over your shoulders. One of them's chewing on your hair.
Val's just got this massive shit-eating grin on his face of just... He could not be happier, and he's going to come over to Solyax and start shoving them in the bag. And
I'm keeping this bag, by the way.
There are now only about 476 cats that are in the room.
Go, feed the kobold.
Can I pick up a cat and try to identify it? I just want to see if this is like a real cat, or if it's like a magic cat that's going to poof.
Yeah,
also,
no,
if it dies.
You can cast Identify on the cat. You go and you pick one up and you do that.
Sure.
Also, I have an idea. I think I know the name of this bag. Schrodinger's bag.
Yeah, call it whatever you would like.
This
So,
is definitely
Jordan,
put her back.
or Kazator, you cast Identify on the cat. It is a cat. As far as you can tell, it is a physical, tangible cat.
I have a bag of cats. I don't know what I'm gonna do
How
with
many are stuck in my beard right now?
Make an animal handling check.
It would be great if I had the iPad open. Boop, 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 boop. All right. The roll is a 14. Animal handling. When I have an A next to a thing, that means advantage?
Yes, because of one of
Oh.
your runes. While
Wow.
you're checking that, speaking of animal handling, Rye,
You're sure we can't do persuasion?
15.
for this, yeah, this will be animal handling.
Because it's friendly to me.
It is friendly to
15.
you.
That's an 11.
Actually, you would have advantage on the roll because it is friendly to you, and you have charmed it. I'm ruling this
15.
as
Okay, that's an 18.
18, okay. And Doran?
15.
15. Okay. So there are a couple, Doran, that are interested in you. You smell new and interesting. You're very engaging with them.
Okay, here.
How do you want to approach the cats?
I mean, I'm mostly concerned with the unconscious man.
Yeah, you're
I don't
bent
mind it.
over, and most of the
Yeah.
cats are like rubbing against you. They're not trying to climb you yet.
Okay, I pat the ones that are there, but I try to like make sure they're not crowding our possibly dying man.
You do
And
manage
I'll-
to keep them and their little claws
Cool.
from getting too dangerously close to him, not smothering him or anything.
Good
Rye,
kitties. Good kitties, but also like medicine check. Is he like dying?
make a
As fun
medicine
as the
check.
cats are, you know. What?
Make a medicine check. Rye. It takes a little bit of convincing, but this creature, this reptilian creature, does look kind of hungry. So it's not terribly difficult to convince him to start biting into the kobolds. After the second bite or so, it's less of just a chomp and more of a, oh, yum, and starts actually like munching.
I'm gonna try and lead it a little bit further out, and I'm gonna look at the cats and be like, of course. And try and lead it past the cats, if possible, to where we heard the noise coming from people behind us, and point down that tunnel and say, "Go hunt!"
Oh, dang! Oh, crap!
Make another animal handling check.
At
Still with
advantage.
advantage.
This is amazing.
Right now, I'm scaring cats out of the room.
Natural 20 for a 21.
I have idea. It's amazing.
Very nice. At this point, the cats are spreading out, and they're starting to travel down the hallways of their own volition, by the way. Like, they're continuing to just spread and spread and spread from the
That could
origin
be-
point.
I'm chasing
That
cats.
could potentially be bad for us.
Or it could potentially be really good.
I mean, at least we got bait for all the kobolds.
Slax, can I borrow that back for a moment?
Why?
I'm going to see if I can make this a lot quicker.
Cat's gone. Why? What do you want with my bag?
The cat's not gone. She just said there's hundreds of them.
What do you want with my bag?
Who is
I'm going to
she?
try and get them back in here a lot faster. I just said that.
I want my bag back.
I'm gonna hold the bag open. And Miss Rye, do you still have the ability to cast dancing lights?
I do, but I would much rather be going down a different path.
Well,
So
really
messing
quickly,
with cats.
would you mind just getting their attention with the lights and then leading them to the bag? I'm totally
Hey,
Who's
Laser
thinking
attracted to
pointer.
lights?
for the I'm totally thinking like laser pointer type deal with the cats, and using the dancing lights to lure them to the bag.
Fine, but you have until I'm out of the room, and I'm gonna cast dancing lights and start leaving.
Okay. So you cast dancing lights. Are you just leaving the light sitting there? Are you moving it around to get the cat's attention? What are you doing with it?
I will put the dancing light in front of the bag like Val asked me to.
And try and make it. Could you try and make it get their attention, please? Just a little, like a little figure eight, or right in front of the bag.
Like, we have places to be.
Yeah, this is hardly.
We have somebody to get out of a net, if you don't
I
mind.
thought you already did that.
No, we're working on it. And
Okay,
so one
then
of these
you're not
cats-
even paying attention.
Not my fault.
Natural
Give me
20
the
on
unconscious
medicine
kobold.
check.
He's beside me. I'm trying, if we can get past our cat-capade, to actually like wrap the
catastrophe.
net around the
Oh, we
kobold.
do have a net.
Yes, we do have a net.
So anyway, that was
Okay.
the natural 20 on that medicine check.
Natural 20? Awesome. You do manage to
Yeah,
look him
I
over
had rolled and then I accidentally moved it.
That is okay. I will take your word for it.
Okay.
You are so adept at looking him over and trying to keep the cats off of him. You're stabilizing him. You're making sure his airway is clear. You're putting him in the recovery position. And very quickly, from what you can tell, this guy recovers enough to start gaining consciousness again.
Cool. Does he have equipment? Does he look like an adventurer? Or is he just some dude?
From what you can see, he looks to be dressed in fairly simple robes. It's not terribly different from the vestments you've seen of a priest.
So cool. Now we have to babysit.
But
Great. We have a babysitting job now, on top of being hunted.
Yep.
We'll have all the cats carry him for us.
at this point, you do see
That would be the
Sarai
most-
sort of over on her knees. There are about half a dozen cats that are surrounding her, and she's just taking turns scritching them with her claws. She's getting under the chin and behind the ears, and she's happy. She's got a big grin over on her face.
Right. So we're
As-
putting your kobold in a net?
Yeah.
You guys can net him up.
We do that.
Let's put him
Okay.
in the net bag thing that this other guy was in. You
Mhm.
know, like
That's the plan.
poetic irony or something.
Take anything off of him that he has and put the kobold in the net. Put
Yeah.
Soldier on Nightbane, and who's recovering, and put kobold in Nightbane's tentacles and start walking out of this room.
I can carry the kobold.
Cool. Take the kobold. And I want to pick up any daggers that are on the ground.
You go ahead and get 2 more daggers. One of them is just a normal base metal, sort of roughly built. The other does look to have been dipped in some sort of oily material.
Oh, it's been dipped in-
Some oily substance is clinging to the edge of the blade. With the dancing lights, y'all do manage to get approximately another 90 to 100 of, especially the young ones, the kittens, back into the bag. We'll call it 98. But that still leaves about 350 cats that are in this room and now starting to spread down the hallways and are leaving this space. Plus the one that was dragged in by itself.
I will grab the bag of cats from Val. I will grab the now tied up and bound unconscious kobold. And I will start heading down whatever path we were supposed to head back down.
I'm helping the man limp down the hallway, I guess, if he's awake now.
Yeah, he is awake now. Yes, right.
Did the Drake go hunt?
He did. Yes, he did. He had looked up to you where you were pointing, and you sort of make your gaze a little bit more stern and your body language a little bit more firm, and you repeat your command, and he is like, okay. And he starts trotting down the hallway towards the source of whatever noise you were hearing.
I really hope we hear the sound of screaming kobolds soon. That would be fantastic.
I'm
Sorry,
gonna
was
look
that
at Sarai.
I don't care.
Gonna look at Sarai and ask her, Miss Sarai, are you ready to proceed in the tunnel, or you need a bit of time to give a little bit more kitten love?
I know, I suppose I could bring one with me. We truly don't want to linger here long, I think.
Have a bag full of them.
I'm gonna point at the one that followed Nightbane.
All right. Which is still following Nightbane, along with about a half dozen others. 2 of them are trying
their
to
god.
at the tails. One of them's trying, a little black one with bright green eyes, is trying to climb up his back leg. Nightbane is standing there just stock still, sort of afraid to move.
I'm gonna give him the okay, he can kick one. If it's climbing on him, he can knock it off if he doesn't like it.
I want to know what happens when he kills a cat.
That's gonna be an instant kill.
So he
You
sort
know
of
that, right?
slowly lifts his leg up and then tries to like shake it and try and get the cat off. The cat tumbles off with like the first 2 seconds.
Yep.
and then starts coming back and like tries to pounce on his foot this time where it's still up in the air. So as y'all are coming, Nightbane is followed by his half-dozen cats. Sarai's got one on her shoulder, one in her arms, and another like 20 or 30 are just following you.
What is this bag? Why would you do this?
You're the one who opened it!
Why would you offer a bag of cats?
Why would you open?
Why would you turn a bag of cats inside out?
I thought that was just like a bag. Like, I did not realize that this was like a magic bag of cats. I was like, oh, this just has some kittens in it.
Don't know. This is not.
I did not realize that this was a magic bag of cats.
Lauren sent this from the cartoon dimension. That's where this is from Toon World.
100%. So, moving on down the hall.
Moving on, you are now being tailed by a cavalcade of cats.
Thank you for this.
So, you're so welcome.
This is so. I love this so much. This will make great fan art.
You could.
There are a number that seem to attach themselves to each of you.
Burned cat in here.
Rye, you have a little like tawny gold one with very subtle like darker brown stripes that is sort of pacing you, and you look at it and it immediately looks away. And then you look away and you can see it turning and watching you. And every time you look, it's a little bit closer to where you are.
If it seems like it's a relatively common personality, I'll pick it up and try and put it so it's on my shoulder, more like a stole.
It seems fairly chill. Go ahead and make an animal handling check.
Not one for a 2, Lauren.
Oh! As you pick it up, you're fine for a brief moment, and then you feel the claws just latch in, and it refuses to let go. Go ahead and take.
Oh no! You gotta put her unconscious.
1 point of piercing damage.
Ooh, right? You okay? You doing okay over there?
Darling, the cats aren't the only things with claws. I would mind you.
That's like half your hit points. Whew.
I don't know if it's Rye or Brenda that's gonna come through that TV. But something's gonna happen. You keep being sassy.
But as you get it lifted up about to shoulder level, it sees where you've got your pack and everything situated, and so it actually jumps from your shoulder, leaves a little bit of a cat scratch behind, and coils itself on your pack with its head over on one side, so it can look and see over where you're going.
So, how much further down this hallway do we have before we reach our destination?
So as I go, it's not long from here, maybe 20 minutes or so, but I don't know if it's quite wise to leave such a clear trail. Is there anything we can do to avoid notice from this point?
Well, you and I could both do something, but it would smell like burnt or frozen cat in here.
No, I don't believe that's the right course of action.
I don't think so either. I'm just saying you and I could both do something that would help alleviate the cat trail.
Well, I mean, with that logic, we could all do a little bit of something. Let's come up with something a little more useful, eh?
I can fix this problem. Just get about 10 feet ahead of me.
Okay.
Sarai looks at you very skeptically.
So once everybody's 10 feet ahead of me, I'm going to basically I'm going to use create water to make it rain in the cavern behind us on all the cats. They're following us. The ones that have clinged to our people are not getting wet, but everything that's behind us for is it a 30-foot cube going down that hall, it just got soaked.
Yeah.
Okay. So about half the cats just start racing backwards. The other half start racing forwards, trying to climb up the nearest vertical surface. That would be most of y'all. I want everybody to go ahead and make dexterity saving throws, please.
How many people are within 10 feet of me?
What?
I freaking
say 3.
knew this was gonna happen,
Okay.
and I love
I
it.
would say Sarai, Rye, and Quesator are within 10 feet.
Probably Val.
Well, no, I'm 10 feet behind everybody.
Oh, this is true.
So I would say Sarai, Rye, and Quesator are within 10 feet of me.
So it's only the cat. Only the cats between me and them stayed dry. Everything behind them got wet.
Lauren, what about the guy that I'm helping walk? He needs to make a save, right?
Yes, he does also need to make a save. I will go ahead and roll that.
Wait, so what did you do, Wes?
You get +4 to your saving throw.
Val, as you motion for Celiax to go ahead, as soon as he gets a little ways away from you, you are overcome by a feeling of dread anxiety.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
I'm going to go ahead and have you make a wisdom saving throw before you spell.
Oh, okay. That's not good.
It's all falling apart in a tunnel with cats.
That's a 9.
We're gonna die in a sewer surrounded by kittens. It's the best.
And then they will eat us.
The dimension door out of here.
Yeah.
I'll probably take a ride.
You're preparing to cast your spell. And you're overcome by this feeling of terror. You're underground. The ground is closing in on you. As you're preparing to cast your spell, you release the magic and you feel some of the splashback from the water. You are immediately transported back into a memory.
Oh dear.
You feel the water rushing over your face. You are unable to breathe. You start panicking. Your mind is convinced that your body is drowning at this point. You start taking in gasping breaths, feeling the burn of water in your lungs. And it's a memory. You know it's a memory, but you cannot fight free. So everybody else sees Val cast the spell. You see this flood of cats coming your way, and as you're having to dodge and get out of the way of the cats, which we'll get to in just a moment, those of you, actually, almost everybody, can see Val just start gasping, trying to take in breath, this panic, this wave of sheer terror overcoming him. Dexterity saving throws are, right?
18. Oh, never mind.
We'll get there.
I'm not.
17.
17, success. 18 for Doran is a success. Halberd?
21, sorry.
Success. Celiax?
9.
9, that is a
really bad.
failure. And Kazator?
24.
24, this is a success. And this is 16 for this unnamed figure. That is a success. And that is a success for Sarai as well. So Celiax. Everybody else is mostly managing to dodge out of the way. You're a little distracted by Val, realizing, wait a second, he's farther away than he has been since you've got in here. And in your brief moment of indecision, half a dozen of the cats light on you as the nearest vertical surface. You cannot move quickly enough to avoid them. They are clawing and scratching their way up your armor. They're hanging off of you. Claws are digging into all of the gaps and the tender places in between. Go ahead and take 7 points of piercing damage.
Okay. I'm about to do something to these damn cats.
Can I start walking back towards Val with Nightbane?
Can I start?
You can. Actually, go ahead and make. Did you make a dexterity saving throw for Nightbane too?
23.
Oh, easily success. Okay. He's all 6 of his feet are picking up at the right times to try to avoid the cats that are just leaping on towards him. But yeah, you guys at this point.
Get cats off of Dragonborn Paladin.
Yeah, I'm grabbing cats, throwing them against whatever I can, and then going back towards Val. And
Okay.
I'm getting close to Val again.
Roll for attack.
You're tossing them off of your person. They're cats. They're landing on their feet. This is not a very large space. They're not making it very far.
I can throw them pretty far if I want to.
But you go ahead and you make your way back towards Val, and as soon as you get within that moment, you can see the terror start to ease, but he is still stuck in this moment in his mind. He cannot seem to get past this memory, this flashback that he's stuck in.
Come on, Val. We gotta go. And I'll just full on just start dragging him forward.
Okay. Val,
Comfort.
in your Flashback. You feel hands start to grab at your arms and start dragging you. What do you do?
Smooth.
Well, do I feel like I'm leaving the memory now that I'm back within 10 feet?
You're less overcome by terror. You're still the memory is still very present for you. You're not feeling the water anymore. Halberd was here also. Halberd, what are you doing?
As Celiax so kindly starts to just drag him backwards, I'm going to bend down and like just knock him on the shoulder. Celiax on the shoulder, like, hey, hold up a minute. I'm gonna get down, get under Val's other arm and lift him up. I'm like, all right, son, I got you. Keep on walking forward. And I'll get Nightbane beside him. Like, you can leave if you feel the need to, Celiax. And the two of us will just kind of escort him out.
So Val, as you start to come back to yourself, with Celiax's near presence, the terror is diminishing. You're starting to come back to yourself. You're realizing you've got your arm over one person. You've got a warm, furry body on your other side. You're starting to come back and remember where you are.
Scoop up one of the cats and put it in his hands.
Val's just going to, Val's just going to like therapy cat this thing.
As you pick up, what color cat do you grab, Doran? You've got a tuxedo cat with the black body and the white chest. That's pretty close nearby. You've got a solid gray one. You've got another orange tabby fairly nearby. This one's a bit larger and very, very fluffy. What color do you grab?
The first one you said, the tuxedo.
Right.
Tuxedo mask. Tuxedo mask.
You do pick up the tuxedo cat. As you pick it up, you realize that this cat has also been injured at some point in life. It's missing one of its eyes.
These cats come
so you got it. This little smudge of a cat. You hand it to Val, and as soon as Val starts moving forward, carrying it up on his shoulder, the cat starts purring. And as it starts purring, it's just so happy it starts drooling. Like, this is a very happy cat.
Lauren, seeing the weird, these are obviously, cats coming from somewhere. I'm taking my hand and just shoving it in the bag and seeing, is there a bottom? What is this? What's going on here?
As you're reaching in there,
up to the shoulder.
You're starting to swipe around. You're getting what you... Make a perception check.
With my hand. That's a 1 for a 3.
For a 3. You feel some hard surface, gently curved to create a bowl-like shape, covered in some sort of soft material, a blanket or some sort of rug or carpet maybe. And it goes for about 18 inches or so before it drops away. You can feel like there's a stand or something under it, but you're not quite sure. It's hard to figure out what exactly this is.
So I do feel...
We've been so busy with the cats that we haven't even bothered to ask the man his name.
This isn't a void, right? There's a bag-ish to this, right? It's not
you can stick all the way up to your elbow in there, and you're only feeling with your hand and your fingertips the what is actually in here.
This is coming from somewhere.
There is something that
elemental
is in
plane
there
of
that
cats.
you can feel.
Jasator, at some point, I need you to identify the bag of cats.
Yes.
Elemental plane of cats.
Right.
This episode's gonna be called the Cat-astrophe.
That is a good one. We'll keep that one in mind. I'm actually writing that down.
So,
letters and capitals.
-astrophe.
Doran, did you find anything out about our new companion?
I have heard you, Wes. What? Do the line again.
Did you find anything? Did you find anything out about our new companion?
Lauren, is he conscious enough to
Conscious,
talk?
he's moving, he's walking with you. He's a bit fumbly. As y'all are starting to walk, and especially you've had this moment now where things have sort of paused, you see him reach into this pocket in his vestments and his robe, and he pulls out this pair of glasses and he's cleaning them off, and they're a little bit cracked, and he heals them. Oh my poor glasses. And he starts rubbing them to clean them again, and starts putting them on his face. It's like they make his eyes seem like twice as big.
Yes.
Oh, I'm thrilled. Yes.
Hero.
I have that.
Sir, what do you know where you are? Do you know what's going on right now?
Well, I'm afraid I'm a little lost. This isn't the catacombs. I'm
It
sorry.
is now.
Catacombs, that's another name for this one.
Write it down.
The catastrophe in the catacombs.
Yeah.
Catacomb catastrophe. Oh man.
Just don't get catatonic.
I was making my way through here, and he takes his glasses back off and he starts to rub at them again. He's like, I'm terribly sorry, Master Dwarf. My manners are all away from me. My head hurts. Do you...
Well, the way we found you, you were tied up in a bag, and well, I don't know what you were about to become, but it was probably not very good. So,
Oh my.
So you know
Well,
what kobolds are.
Oh yes. Little
Yes, they
reptilian
were
folk.
dragging you. They were dragging you through the, across the ground. We decided we didn't want to leave you behind.
Oh my. I very much appreciate it. It appears things must be in order. Oh my goodness.
Well, we'll worry about that later, perhaps. Who are you, and why in the world would you be down under the ground like this?
Oh, my name is Norman. I was looking to, for some of the families that live down here. I was trying to present myself for their aid and their betterment to perform any service that I might be able to do. I must have been waylaid by, you said they were kobolds. I mean, I'd heard of the dangers down here, and they say not to travel alone, but they're not joking. My goodness.
Insight check.
It's very bad.
Make an insight check.
Hey, Lauren,
I would also like to do that.
from a distance, I'm not getting near him because, trying to remain somewhat inconspicuous. But from a distance, I will grip my sword and the orb will flash, and I will give him 10 points of healing from back. So,
Okay.
sort of maybe behind Val a little bit, so if he turns around, he'll see a cleric and not me.
A cleric holding a kitty.
Yep, but not me. So,
And also with a look of shell shock.
Okay. On top of a night bane. Right?
Yeah, leaning against the displacer beast, and with Halberd trying to support on one side and Nightbane on the other. Like, it is a squeezing fit through this tunnel. Y'all are having to move a little slowly while y'all are still supporting Val and Norman.
I'm going to lift up the hooded lantern cover so there's some light.
yeah, and I'm taking rear guard, so I'll be in the back,
Okay.
sweeping away any cats with my tail.
Kind of just took liberty on your objects.
Okay.
I've got a cat. Val's happy.
Good deal.
I hand a cat to Norman.
What color cat this time?
Well, hold on. I don't know. We'll say it's like one of them really fluffy, like orange cats,
Nice.
like a Garfield looking.
Yeah, with massive eyes and sort of a very concerned look on his face as being picked up and transferred from a dwarf to the human.
Kittens.
Um,
That they were going to eat. Not this.
So Norman takes this massive cat, and as the healing sinks in, you can see where his whole shoulder had been hunched, and holding the cat sort of seemed like a trial. You can see his shoulders start to lift up a little bit. Kazator, what was your insight check?
10.
10.
Mine
From
was
what you
8.
can see, he definitely, he's very tired. He keeps trying to reach up to rub in the back of his head. He's definitely taken some blow, and he seems honest. He seems a little too stunned to be dishonest at this point. He's just like he was walking along. He got
Norman. You know,
got hit in the back of the head, and he woke up and with these strange people, and this dwarf leaning over him, and he's like going along with it now and just trying to get his senses coming back to him.
Well, all right. Well, we're on our way out of here essentially. So you probably want to be coming with us.
That does sound like a good plan. And at this point, he's starting to, with the brighter light, he's getting more effect. He looks over at Sarai, and Sarai is just sort of smiling at this whole situation. It's like, Norman, we told you not to wander alone for a reason. And I was like, oh, Miss Sarai, yes, I was definitely listening when you were telling me all of this.
So you knew you were not supposed to be down here alone?
Oh no, but there are people you have to understand. I need to serve the people.
Flick him in the forehead. Come on, man.
I am sorry. I know, but with such an influx lately, we have to do what we can to support everybody. Mr. Wright, you know this. You know, gosh darn it, they took my goodie bag. My basket for the people I was trying to find. I had 2 whole meals worth of food in there and a very nice set of sausages, if I do say so myself. The greedy kobolds. Oh, and he sort of stomps his foot and he looks around and he's like, I can't believe it. No, I suppose I can. That's an overestimation. I'm sorry. But you said you know the way out.
And the rest of us hear this?
Oh, yeah. Easily.
I'll call from wherever I'm at in order and be like, who were you delivering food to, darling?
Oh, there are a number of families. Specifically, I was trying to find Madame Lila. She was an alchemist. We can get her story from her, I think, if we can find her. But her family has just recently been dispossessed, and they're down here all by themselves now. Well, not really by themselves. They're here. We're helping them as much as we can, but getting situated and having your whole life just crushed like that is a horrible thing.
Crushed, darling? I mean, I know you said that we can hear from Miss Lila, but if perhaps we don't find her, would you clue us in a little bit? What do you mean?
Oh, well, she's one of the shopkeepers that's been, well, her goods have been confiscated for breach of charter recently.
She's been put out of business?
Oh, entirely so.
Why?
Well, she broke her charter. From what I understand, there were illicit goods she was trying to sell. The potions that she was making, from my understanding, she was using goods that were not listed on her charter to prepare them and profiting off of this illicit business model. And obviously the church could not have that. So when she was unable to pay the fine to renew the charter, she had her goods seized, and the shop was reclaimed and her charter revoked. And well, last week when they couldn't make rent, her family was, well, evicted from their home and forced to come down here.
You know, this is the second time I've heard something about a charter. Someone was talking about this in the shop Halberd now, and I'll look towards Sarai and Celix. Wait, charter? What is this nonsense?
Sarai sort of looks over at you. It's part of the law in Dragenthrone is in order for shops to do business, they have a charter they receive from the church. It lists the goods they are able to sell, the prices that they can sell them for, and the type of people they may sell them to. If they violate their charter, the church reserves the right to remove their license to do business within the city limits.
The type of people they can sell them to?
Indeed. The citizens of the city will not. Those in the Harbor District are able to do business with those who are not citizens of the city, those who come on vacation or pilgrimage for whatever reason, who have not got their license of citizenship yet. Those within the higher districts, of course, are mostly reserved for citizens, some for ordained priests or those who are members of the various knightly orders.
So a craftsman couldn't just open shop and sell to anyone?
Oh no. There are a number of restrictions. And the charters must be renewed quarterly each year. There is a system of taxes of sort that the church uses to maintain the roads and provide for those within the city.
See, these are the kind of things back home that I hated.
Sorry, I'm not from around here. Has it always been like this?
For as long as I can remember. Certainly longer than my lifetime.
Fascinating.
Norman sort of adjusts his glasses at this point. I believe the charter first came into effect 400 and... He starts counting on his fingers. 64? 65. 465 years ago at this point. It is a long-standing tradition. Part of the church's dating of Dragon Throne.
I don't like this church at the moment.
I mean, I can't disagree with you. That's why we're down here. A number of us disagree with how things are run. We're trying to find ways to adjust and to fix it. Sarah's sort of nodding at this point. It's part of what we're trying to do. You'll meet some of the leaders of, well, our efforts here in just a little bit. Veneer has been very helpful in providing a rallying point, I suppose you'd call.
Is that what the inspection was that Hako is doing? Is it related to this?
Oh, yes. He's not quite one of us, but he's one of us, and he helps to make sure Gertie can maintain her position up top.
He's sort of an inside man, that kind of thing?
Well, of a sort, yes.
Well, better than not having nothing.
I would be careful. We don't want it too widely spread. We want to protect him as much as we can, also. He's what permits Gertie to maintain her position.
Val's
She goes. Go ahead.
Val's gonna speak up from the back. If you don't mind my asking, what exactly is her position? What is it that she does for you?
Well, make a persuasion check.
Where the hell were you earlier? It's at 18.
You want a cat?
Okay, 18.
Apparently I need cats. This is how Val's magic is going to work from now on.
I give Val another cat.
You scoop up a little gray cat. She seems a little cross-eyed as you pick her up and sort of put her towards
the
Val.
cat's broken!
She just...
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Not all of them.
I am imagining this scene, and there's just cats everywhere.
I get
So
it.
that's why I keep saying I scoop up a cat.
There are.
'Cause they're everywhere in my imagination.
I'm definitely not
I think sort of the color of like a Russian blue, but as her vision tries to shift too quickly, her eyes just can't quite keep up. So she's sort of looking over at Dor, and she's sort of looking over at Val, and she just lets out this big ol' meep as you hand her over, and then you get her situated with Val.
So
And
she's got like 240-degree vision?
Not quite that bad.
This kind of thing? She
Um,
has derp eyes?
Mm-hmm. And a dark
but
face.
she's
Moving.
also very
I
friendly
refuse to
and
call this cat anything other than spleens. This is Spleens the cat. If anybody out there gets that reference, you a beautiful person. Spleens the cat.
So she's less happy to be held, but is perfectly willing to sort of perch up on your arm and shoulder where she can try and look around. With an 18, Sarai sort of smiles at you and she's like, well, Gertie collects information for us. She records it and helps to provide the bigger picture of what we see. She stays on top of the rumors and the guard patrols. She has a number of those who visit her shop for pleasant visits and exchanges of information.
Helpful.
We're not terribly far away now from our destination. Shall we continue?
Please.
Very well. You'll want to head up this way and then turn left at the next fork.
We do that!
So, Sarai gives directions. Y'all end up heading to the through the tunnels, and the tunnels start to get a little bit larger and a little bit less round. And you go through what looks to be a short section of raw rock, where it's not cobbled, it hadn't been worked, but it has clearly been hewn out. And the style of architecture immediately shifts. You emerge into a larger cavernous room where there are walkways that have been carved and ladders and stairways that have been set into four floors, essentially, four sort of areas where you can each have their own walkway. And as you go around the perimeter of this large room, there are plaques that are carved into the rock, or as you approach, you get a little closer, you can see they're not carved into the rock. The rock itself has been carved and then sealed with their own plaques. You get a little bit further into the room, you can see there are a number of holes dug into the rock, excavated out, fairly narrow, but extending deep into the rock itself. You have entered into a crypt.
Oh, fun! Good.
Plaques are carved with various names and carvings, various blessings and prayers. Some of them have dates. This seems to be relatively recently, still in the process of being filled. So a relatively new excavation. And as y'all are led through the room itself, there's a tunnel that opens up ahead. And along the walls, there are a number of dividers. You can see where small rooms have been partitioned off, and there are various cots and blankets, pillows, areas of bedding. There are a few that have small lamps that are lit along the way. And you start hearing a murmur of voices as you start to move closer and closer to the tunnel on the far side.
Lauren, the crypts, does it look like it's wealthy? It's a general populace sort of thing? It's a family crypt?
They seem to be not super wealthy, but well kept. Like I said, there are some that are carved with some detailings. They're not just essentially stone boxes. That these have some elements of wealth. You guess probably middle class of some kind in order to be able to afford something like this for their deceased kin. You are seeing that there are a number of just individual names, and then you're finding a couple that are set together that are families. And you notice these in particular because these groups where they're all families all died on the same dates, have the same death day, essentially. And they're all various days, they're all different, but it's interesting.
Sorry, I was just gonna ask if we had any way of identifying if they were like different races or whatever.
The bodies are not exposed. You're essentially seeing the gravestones.
Right, I just didn't know if there was anything like to any of the names that would be like, that is a dwarven name, that is an elven name, or anything like that that would give us clue. That is a dragonburn.
There are a couple of names that do sort of catch your ear, Doran, as having sort of dwarven sounding names. But they're really all over the place. They're a mix of races. There's nothing in particular, not a particular race that this seems to have been reserved for.
Okay, I wanted to know if this was like only the non-purged people were here.
Probably.
How old are these graves and dates that we're seeing written on here? Because you said many of them have got the same death date. Forgive me if I missed it, if you actually said when they were from.
I had not said make a perception check. Or investigation.
Would we even know, because most of us aren't from here? Would the dates mean anything to us?
Not necessarily.
I mean, you've been on World for like 6 months now.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
But you're not experienced in the history of this world, and not specifically within Dragonsroad.
But I assume at this point we would have an understanding of, like, this is today's date. It's the 12th day of Floorbond and the year of the blah.
Yes, you
So,
know
like,
what
we'd be able
today's
to map
date is. Yeah.
Floorbond's
You
canon.
would be able to do that. Floorbond is definitely canon now.
What did I say? Floorbond?
Think so.
Floorbond.
Halberd, investigation check.
That's going to be
Investigate.
the name of my next character. Floorbomb.
Okay, say that one more time, Halberd.
26.
Sorry.
26. You're good. Yeah, you're finding that a large number of these in particular all died on the same day about 18 years ago. Not quite 18 years. Celiax, make a history check.
Let's say, do I know any 18 years?
18 years.
Ooh, yeah. Good thing I suck at history, because that's a 5.
5. Not ringing a bell.
Yeah, that tracks.
I'm going to point at these and ask Sarai. This is mass. Was this an execution? What is this? A plague?
Not a plague, no. A fire. Started in what used to be the slums. That fire in particular spread through several districts of the city. It is why, well, to be frank, it is why so many people live in the catacombs now.
Or not Frank.
What do you mean used to be the slums?
The slums no longer exist. After this fire, they were cleared out, rebuilt with stone, reworked for other shops and wealthier homes.
What
Those
happened?
who can afford it.
How did the fire start? Does anyone know?
And where
Some may
did
know,
the-
I'm afraid I do not. Rumors say it was a fight and started in a tavern. Some say it was set deliberately, trying to clear out the scum of the city.
It does seem to be convenient. It was never replaced.
Doesn't
That's
it though?
disturbing.
And so
Well,
most of
this-
those people live down here now?
Unless you cannot afford to purchase proper lodging at Topside. Yes.
Well, at least they're alive. That's something.
It's
Go ahead.
Norman sort of adjusts his glasses again. It's very difficult to live down here. It's dark and it's cold, and especially the children don't do well down here. And of course, the church is willing to take the children in and accept them into knightly or monastic or clerical training of some kind, but what family would give up their child for something like that?
What family indeed?
Terrible family.
I'm not willing to say that, mate.
If they're gonna throw them out.
There's a lot of different reasons why a child might end up in such an order.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just lashing out because this is bullshit and I'm getting tired of all this nonsense.
Yes, it does lead me to a slightly different question. You had mentioned that the charters for shops are dictated by the church. Is price for housing dictated by the church as well?
within various districts, there are ranges that are maintained to provide a clean and safe environment for those who live there. And while technically that's under the jurisdiction of the civil magistrate, the Margrave really does answer to the church, and I think you'll find in the city most things are, well, controlled by the church in one way or another. It was, well, to my shame, it was one of the things I enjoyed about being a priest before I had my eyes open to the truth. There is a lot that has gone wrong in the city. There are those of us who are trying to fix it, step by step, little as we can.
At least you recognize the problem is there. That is the good step one.
It's a step. He just sort of sighs, and you can see there's a... Actually, those of y'all with passive insight of 15 or above, who is that?
Me. Wait, passive insight?
Passive insight.
Actually, that is me.
Does that include your mod?
Yeah.
10 plus.
Yeah, 10 plus mod.
Plus proficiency if you're proficient.
Yep.
That's mod.
I have
What's that?
exactly 15.
Passive wisdom insight.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. So that's
16.
most of y'all.
And
Wow.
people.
So y'all can see as he's talking about this, he sort of becomes very subdued, and there's this look of shame that crosses his face. Like he recognizes that this was an inherently flawed system that he benefited from for a long period of time. And now that he can see that, there's something within him that is still coming to terms with what he was doing under that system.
Lauren, are his glasses still cracked?
Yes.
Can I walk up to him and sort of somewhat sideways with like my hood up and everything that I have, sort of walk him and say, Norman, could I see your spectacles, please? See if I can do something about that.
I suppose so. They're broken, you see, and he takes them off of his face and sort of squints as he hands them over to you.
I will grab them and I will cast mending on them.
Okay.
Whoa,
So-
he's magic.
He is. You go ahead and you cast mending on them, and over the next minute or so, you can see the cracks start to come back together where they meet. It's almost a very slight shift as the glass reforms and kind of melts back together and becoming a complete and perfect whole.
Some things that are broken can still be fixed. Here. And I'll hand them back to him.
And he takes them and he sort of rubs them again, cleans them off, and shifts them, gets them back on his face, gets it situated. It's like, if you know how to fix them. Would that all broken things were fixed this easily.
I don't know how to fix anything, but Bahamut gives powers. And through that, many things can be done.
Norman, can I ask a personal question?
I suppose you can ask. We'll see what your question is before I say whether I'll answer or not, but sure, go ahead.
What was the revelatory moment for you?
I don't suppose you've met her. There's a little girl who speaks like an angel, the voice of a prophet, some say. Her words are those of Bahamut himself, and she saw me in the street, and she saw everything I had ever done, and she told me. It was eye-opening, you could say. Sarai sort of steps forward at this point. Because Venera has helped a number of priests and others help to realize exactly what's gone wrong. Norman reacted much more positively than some who have their flaws pointed out to them so abruptly.
Is that the way it works? Because you had mentioned previously that she had discussed murders. Is it that she sees a person and speaks specifically to what they've done, or are there more general prophecies?
A bit of both. Very frequently, she will see an individual or have some event spark some shift. Her eyes begin to glow. It's like it's not really her at all. And I say she sees them. I
Did we see that?
You have seen her.
Yes, I did.
I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to remember who all did, because I don't remember if I was there for that.
Halberd saw it intimately. Everybody,
right.
I think everybody except Rye has seen it peripherally.
I've seen it a couple times.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's been fun.
Venera is blind normally. She underwent some trauma that resulted in her death, and Bahamut returned her to us. Slightly altered. Gifted. And her sight seems to be the price that she paid for that power. Now, when she has something to say, something Bahamut prompts her to say, it's like he speaks through her. Words really can't describe the shift that happens, the power that she embodies. But it's amazing. And it's never not alarming, so...
I would imagine. No, I wonder, because especially whenever you bring up that she accused murder in some circumstances, was she talking about particular people committing acts of murder or the church in general?
The way she spoke, she addressed the church. But what she described had to have been perpetrated by individuals. It wasn't quite clear who.
Who was she speaking to at the time?
We don't know. This was in a marketplace. It was very busy. There was a crowd of people around us. We'd been trying to surreptitiously gather supplies, and this was before we were down here full time. And then the spirit of the god overcame her. We were very quickly surrounded by those who were awed by what she said, the truths that she claimed, and those who were more fearful or hateful. Sarai pulls down the corner of her robe, and you can see she's got a long, jagged scar over her shoulder and starting to head down her arm, where the scales are broken and jagged. Soyix, this is not something she'd had before, even the last time you'd seen her. This is new, but it's healed like it's an old wound. I received this in her defense that day. There were those who were trying to snatch her away. Swords, spears. I scooped her up and started to flee, and... well, an axe almost took my arm off. When we made it down...
Put my axe away.
She sort of looks over at you as you shift to do that. She says, Master Dwarf, you're fine. I hold no fear of the event itself. Sarai's power... not Sarai's power.
Whoa.
Power.
Sarai's the ultimate
I know.
I'm amazing,
You
everybody!
in the third person, right?
I am
Um,
the Oracle.
Oh, yeah, the new Bahamut. Silver is platinum. What?
I'm the traveler. What?
I attack.
Okay, coming back. Bahamut's power healed me. It left a scar, of course, as a reminder, but... Celiax, between meets eyes with you, I truly believe we are on the right track. That there are things that we can do. And I'm glad you're here.
Right, but maybe let's not use just... But, yep.
Norman is trustworthy, and she gestures around. As you can see, we are safe here. And you can see, actually, as you have come further and further into the catacombs, especially once you made the shift from the tunnel with the sewer system into the catacomb itself, there was a relaxation and sort of a sense of peace. The tension that she'd been holding, her breaths are deeper, more relaxed. She's not holding herself quite so stiffly. The further that you'll come in.
From a long day.
Yeah, very much like that. That's the sensation that you get as
Kept wearing a sewer.
you're moving in.
It's cool, guys. The DM said we can trust him and we're safe.
Yeah, famous last words. DM, question.
Yes.
While this conversation is going on, Val's gonna kind of let his senses just expand a bit, and being that this is a place of death, transition, and rest, just kind of see if he can get a feel for, are there, basically looking around, are there any hints that there might be spirits, not necessarily malevolent, but just any kind of spirits lingering nearby?
That's a great question.
How are you wanting to do this? Are you wanting to try and reach for Serenray's power, to try and
which deity?
Saying
Okay. I was
that's
like,
what I get for going through campaign 1. I love it, but no, Sayan's power. Or are you using your physical senses to try and
no, this is definitely using deitic powers. Possibly even reaching I understand he doesn't have a ghost sense. But just trying to grabbing a hold of his holy symbol and just trying to feel the presence of any ghosts, any spirits, and like I said, not necessarily looking for malevolence, just
Goku's feeling for
present.
power level.
Okay. What I'm going to have... Well, light keeps shifting in here. It's driving me nuts. What I'm going to have you do... Make a wisdom check. Add your proficiency bonus to it.
That is not what I was trying to do. Hang on. All right. If this doesn't work, I do have a plan B, but I want to try this first. Okay. You said wisdom?
Wisdom.
Nice. Plus proficiency?
Plus proficiency.
That would be a 22.
Okay. You take a deep breath. You calm yourself. You reach for that place in your heart, in your mind, where you have felt Sayanin's power before. You don't have a sense of anything ghostly. You don't have a sense of anything that would have to do with spiritual beings. You don't have a sense of much of anything, really.
Okay, interesting choice of words. Should I be scared?
I will say this. With a 22, you do feel a slight pressure of something around your wrists. Almost like you were wearing bracelets of some kind. Some thin cord tied as a bracelet around your wrists.
All right. Yeah, feeling that, I'm going to do detect evil and good.
Okay. What is the range on detect evil and good?
It is 30 feet sphere. And aberrations, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead, as well as their location. If the place has been magically consecrated or desecrated. Spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone.
Okay. You're not getting any sort of sense of anything in the chamber around you. As you sort of narrow your focus in, you do get a very, very
Random
light,
sounds.
very brief, like essence of Fey from your sword.
Is that like a fantasy cookie
Ew.
ingredient? Essence of Fey?
Essence of Fey.
All right.
It is from the
Magically
the
delicious.
cookbook published. Oh crap, Barovia.
I don't. Sure. I'll
Yeah,
believe you.
it's published out of the main publishing company in Barovia. Essence of Fey is one of the big ingredients in that cookbook.
Yes, Barovia is the one that you're looking for.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, if that's the case, then
All it is just cinnamon.
am I
No, that's
getting
from
the
Nicodranus. Sorry. Go ahead.
am I getting the feeling that the feeling around my wrists might be linked to said essence of Fey?
It's hard to tell.
Okay, fair enough.
You're not able to really distinguish that, and you're not getting any. Like, you don't see anything, you don't really sense anything. It's just almost like a phantom sensation of something tied around your wrist.
Cool. All right.
And
Well,
as soon as you stop focusing on it, it goes away.
All
That
right.
is, man, you are so haunted. You are so haunted, my guy.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
Probably don't.
So, right. We have a busy day tomorrow. Is there a place where we can rest for the night?
Yes,
In the-
there's
in
there's
the-
room.
Also,
Anira and I have a large chamber we share. There's room for all of you to bunk down with us if you would like to.
I would like, before we do sleep though, I would like to see Vanira.
Absolutely.
It would be nice to say hello.
And are y'all still carrying this kobold chieftain with you?
I 100% have him slung over my shoulder. Every time he
Okay.
starts to wake up a little again, I give him an elbow and knock him back out.
Oh
Okay.
man, I can't wait for this to go well.
As you
Then we
leave
probably would have shown
this
was it
Norman,
Martin?
Norman.
Yeah, we would have shown Norman, be like, this is what was trying to eat your face.
Yeah, that would have been. His eyes would have gotten even larger behind his glasses, like up to 3 times the size that they originally were.
It's like
Oh
full
my
on cartoon
goodness.
style.
Yeah, I mean the glasses for sure help with the effect. But
Hey,
as y'all try to leave this crypt area, y'all can pass through easily. The kobold seems to like slam into an invisible barrier.
Oh man, this is so unfortunate. Okay, well,
That's
all right.
easy.
So what's the? I guess we should figure this out real quick. What is the plan for this thing?
Some people said they wanted to talk to it, so I decided to keep it alive,
Oh,
so
that's
you
fair.
could talk to it. I have got some things to think about, and it's time for sleep.
I agree. I mean, I don't really have plans to talk with him. I was carrying him. Who wanted to talk to him?
I'll speak with him if he is, I assume, tied up quite
He's in a
well.
net, and I keep making him unconscious. I think he's still alive.
You speak Draconic.
I have the ability to speak all sorts of languages. It requires a spell slot, but you know, it works. If someone wants to translate, that by all means, fantastic. But I do have the ability. Knowing that we were coming here, I made sure to prepare to be able to speak to anyone,
This thing's
just
like
in case.
tall, right?
Well,
This is like 2.5 feet tall.
I'll put him on the ground.
Exaggerated.
I don't know what you wish to ask him, but I can stay here if you need me to.
That is entirely up to you. Whatever you prefer.
I mean, I can't translate, but I'm willing to be here to be a muscle if you need it. Strong arm the thing. That way, this one can go and bed down if he needs to.
I don't mind. I do not mind company. But if you all need to rest, I am more than quite well at the moment.
Nothing again.
If you need a translator, Mike.
Well, if you guys have him, I would like to go in and say hi to Vanera real quick. I have some things that I wish to ask her.
I'm probably not her favorite person, so I'll stay out here and talk to our little scaly friend.
Enjoy your conversation. I will see you inside.
All right, so Celiax is heading in. Val's staying out. Who's going in? Who's staying out?
Doran wants to go in, but also, like, you know, hands on the shoulders of the tiny thing to be like, hey, I'm scary. Listen to what this guy asks you.
Yeah, he is, like, he's flat out on the ground right now. He's unconscious at this point. If he was standing up, you would be literally double his height.
Yeah.
Doran, if you want to go in, by all means. Like I said, he's trussed up rather well, and I'm feeling my oats, as it were. I've got 13 temporary hit points on top of full health.
Yeah, I mean, really, by the end of this, you're going to end up killing him and having even more temporary hit points.
I mean, that's always a possibility, but not what we're going for.
I'll stay out and.
Because you're haunted. All right, well, if you need a scream for us, but I'll go in there then.
Okay.
All right, so Doran's heading in. Halberd, you said you were staying out?
I'll listen.
Okay. So Nightbane will stay with you. Rai, Kazator?
I'll head in with Boyax if he doesn't object.
Nope.
Unless anyone wants me out there, I'll probably head in as well, since there was talk about her going to the library.
Okay. And Sarai and Norman also head on in. Norman quickly splits off down a fork in the path from y'all, starting to like, oh, I think I remember this way. Yes, okay, this way. And Sarai just sort of like shakes her head and is like, that's a dead end. Oh well, he'll turn around soon enough.
Who's gonna die first?
And she takes the other direction, leading y'all down. We are going to go ahead and pause here to take a quick bio break, and we will be right back. Thanks, y'all.
Heyo.
Our game.
What?
Oh. And we're back.
Hold on. Let me
Thank you, everybody,
let me
for
turn off
joining
the
us
copyrighted
again.
music first.
Jay, give us a little warning next time.
I didn't think I clicked it. I was moving the mouse and I clicked it, and I did not mean to. I promise.
All right, thank you,
Yeah, I
everybody,
had
for sticking
copyrighted music
around.
playing,
As
you turd.
I said I'm
Okay,
dark.
we get 5 seconds. Is that right?
Yeah, 5 seconds.
Also, we couldn't really hear it through your...
That's true.
So I think we're safe.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
Anybody
matter.
out there, please don't
Doesn't
sue
matter.
us.
Doesn't
So,
Yeah.
let's
Go
go
watch the
ahead.
last of my YouTube videos. Don't sue me.
We will go ahead and we will jump back into this. So, who wants to start? The group that's going inside or the group that's staying out?
No, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to hand the bag of cats to K-Store and say, K-Store, do you mind looking at this?
See what you've got.
He just starts taking cats and throwing them at the kobold guy. Tell us what we want to know.
So I will give the bag of cats to K-Store. And that's funny. I approve of that. And then I will go find Vanera.
Okay. Sarai is leading y'all towards Vanera. As a note, y'all still have like 20 or so cats that are just loose and following y'all around, perching on various pieces of your clothing, walking behind you.
I had to go get my act.
Roughhousing and romping with each other. Just being
these
cats.
Full-grown creatures, or are they like kitten creatures?
A variety of ages. Some of them are older and larger. Some of them are kittens and doing kittenish things.
I look for the one that closely matches my beard and see how well I can hide it within.
Make a perception check.
Just because I think that'll be funny.
I want Born to have a beard cat.
I really do too.
Little beard kitten.
I wish I could grow a full beard.
Glue a cat to your face.
13.
13. Okay. So you find one that is very flurry, very furry, fluffy, a little bit larger than most of the others. It's got a very long body and very thick, ruffly sort of hair. Maine Coon, essentially, adolescent. And it fairly closely matches the texture of your hair. You go ahead and you pick it up and you start holding it, and you're holding it against your hair, and it's like sort of perching up on your shoulder with the tail hanging down, and every so often the end of your beard will just twitch.
Yeah. I let the cat stay there.
Yeah, you're super intimidating.
Yeah. We're going to go see a little girl. I know she can't see what's happening, but whatever. Who cares?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I thought you were intimidating the kobold.
Oh, no. Because
I'm with you.
we're going to let Val do some bloodletting.
So, Sarai leads y'all through a series of tunnels. It branches off at multiple points. Essentially, it's this maze-like network of caverns, both that have naturally formed over some period of time and that have been excavated and enlarged. You pass a number of them that have light and voices that are coming out of them. You're getting into an area where there's more rug and carpeting, where there's decorations on the walls, where there are torches that have been placed in sconces. Yes. Where it looks to be, you pass one tunnel that's a little bit larger, it branches off and is brightly lit. And there's this delicious smell of some sort of soup or stew, meat and vegetables just roasting and cooking away, and the aroma is wafting out the tunnel.
Smells like food.
Sarai mentions this tunnel leads towards the one of the kitchen chambers. Families take turns using it. It has a chimney for the smoke that lets out relatively surreptitiously. One of the blacksmiths in the city lets us, vent it out through his forge. So,
My people.
there are those above who are sympathetic to the plight of those who must live down below. They do help us. It's not all awful.
Are you worried about... Are you perhaps worried about civil war happening?
Oh no, nothing so drastic.
Okay. I would hope not, but I don't know. I'm not just asking.
Prison, violence, slaughter perhaps. I don't know if you're aware. Vanera has a price on her head, and if it were discovered that there were so many...
I want to say that you told us that, Lauren. I don't remember though. I feel like you did.
If the church did discover, then, and by which I mean the leadership, those who enact these horrid policies, if they did discover there are so many living down here, creating livelihoods and supporting each other, well, I'm afraid they wouldn't stand for it. Some of us would be executed, I know. Some imprisoned, others likely banished, scattered across the mainland. We've built lives for ourselves here. We'd rather not have them shattered again.
Seems like there's underholds everywhere. what's the price on a head? I mean, I'm sure it's just like the general church is the one who determines whether someone's wanted or not, but someone actually has to be making the decisions about that. Is Desmond fellow? Is that somebody else?
Desmond? Oh no, I'm sure he's got the best wishes of everyone in the city at heart. The council is the ultimate leadership within the city. The Margrave and the knightly orders together run the guard force, and the administration thereof handles the issuing of warrants and the trials, and ultimately recommends for execution.
But you said yourself earlier, the Margrave is not really the one in charge. He's just a hand.
He reports to the council. He has an honorary seat thereon, but the council of the church itself, I believe, runs most of the large scale.
And Desmond leads this council.
Yes.
So if they were to put out a warrant against Veneer, he would be among those making that decision.
Well, I'm sure he would do everything in his power to.
I wouldn't be sure
protect
about
those under
anything,
his
darling.
care. Oh, but you haven't met him.
I don't need to meet him. I've seen this city.
I said about. Never mind.
I'm sure once you meet him, you'll understand. He truly does want what's best for everyone.
I don't remember.
Continues leading y'all down the tunnels through twisting, turning, maze-like system. You can understand a little bit better how Norman could get lost being unfamiliar with the network of tunnels and caverns down here.
Am I able to kind of get an idea of like the general layout we're experiencing, since I'm used to being in tunnels and caves? And
You're less likely to get lost.
Yeah.
You're much more comfortable down here.
Yeah.
It's significantly easier for you to maneuver and to sort of find a rhythm in the way the tunnels work. So essentially you'd have advantage against being lost in the tunnels.
Cool. Just was wondering what was up with how does me know tunnel.
Yeah, as a dwarf, and especially as one who grew up under a mountain, you're pretty familiar with things like this. This does seem a little more chaotic, and actually go ahead and make a check for your stone sense.
That is a D20. Hey, the D20 came up natural.
Whoo!
Wow.
Natural 20 or natural 1.
2-0.
Fabulous.
Yay!
So add your modifiers, add your intelligence and your proficiency.
It's double proficiency, right? I always forget because I forget.
That is a good question.
Hold on, let's go to features. Because with D&D Beyond, it clocks all your stuff that you know how to do.
It does.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah,
Hashtag not sponsored.
Promoting their stuff because it's cool.
Yes, add double your proficiency bonus.
Yes, double proficiency and intelligence.
So 12.
So intelligence is 4, proficiency is also 4. So 12, like the man said.
32 is your
Wow.
is your final count there.
That's like the highest roll I've ever had. Anyway,
Okay. Doran,
jokes aside.
you are looking at this tunnel system and getting a sense for how things fit together and the caverns and how they may have been created. And you know, as a dwarf, you're very familiar with underground caverns and cave systems, and how typically water erodes them away, and how the natural changes of the earth can lend itself to creating cave systems. This is not what's happened here.
Okay.
If you had to guess, you would say it would be more some caustic agent actually ate away at the stone to create these caverns. They were connected by carving out and excavating, but that a lot of these these caves themselves were not. They were developed in a fairly short period of time, and they all have the same sort of markings that would, you think, come from something, some caustic agent eating away at the stone.
Like a alien blood acid like thing.
Yes, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have any idea of how old this stuff is?
With that check, I'll give it to you.
Because it was a natural 20.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is not an all-knowing absolute, you get exactly what you ask for, but you get the best possible outcome.
No, but
with what you have seen here, and what you're seeing is they're all about the same age, the caverns themselves, and some of the hallways connecting them. You would guess they were created somewhere around 600, 650 years ago.
Cool.
The parts that have been excavated and tunneled out are interesting because there's a period of them that are older, and then it seems to get newer and more recent, and then it gets to a point where it's older again.
Interesting.
Yes.
So like
closer to the sewer system, it seems a little bit older. You get to a point where it seems like there's a progression of ages that they were developed a little more and more recently. Almost as like the closer you get to wherever you're going, and then they start getting older again.
Okay. How? I don't know if you know this, Sarai, but how about did these caverns and these tunnels? How were these made? In what way were they made?
Oh, the catacombs.
From what I can tell, yes.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I just was going to say that it seems as though it was melted away with some sort of acid or something, but it seems fairly old.
That's fascinating. No, the catacombs have been part of the city for as long as I can remember. I don't recall a period in our history where they weren't here. As soon as the city was established well enough to transition from sea burials to actually burying our dead in the land, the catacombs have existed.
Well, I suppose that makes sense. From what I can tell, they're ancient, 600 to 6,500 years old, or 600. You know what I mean?
600 years. That's
at least.
Fascinating.
I don't know if that's significant, but
the shattering. The war that tore this land apart when Bahamut fought Tiamat. I was in that time frame, 600 years or so ago.
Lauren, are we in the giant transmutation circle under Amestris?
You don't. I don't.
I'm concerned now.
I like the reference. I love the reference. That's a leap of logic.
Yeah. You said that this looks like acid or something dissolved it?
Aye. Or something caustic. I don't know what it would be. And it gets... From where we're going now... Does this look
like a dragon cave?
Make a nature check at advantage. You would have been familiar with Donner and some of the effects that he had.
We're in a dragon's lair. We're in a dragon's lair.
Let me make sure. Hold up.
You're muted, Jordan. Couldn't hear you.
Oops. I said, wait, this is the cave for the Donner party?
Oh, shoot, no.
No. Forgive me. Donner was green. Green, right?
Blitzen. Natural dancer.
So
Yes.
just a straight roll.
I already rolled 2 dice.
Sorry, take the first.
I rolled them at the same time.
Okay, you know what? Pick one.
18.
18. Okay. I'm okay with that. 18. Yeah, this looks like it could very well have been caused by some sort of dragon acid eating away at the stone.
I will relate that information.
I kind of
That seems
figured that.
that seems potentially detrimental to us. From what I can tell, when we got into this part of the cave system, the part we started in and where we're headed now is the newer parts. These are the. I'm telling that right,
Older.
Lauren. Like they're the older, yeah. The ends were the older parts, and the part in between was newer, from what I can tell.
Manure.
And I don't know the behaviors of dragons well enough to assume anything, but perhaps multiple layers that they were connecting together. I'm wildly uncomfortable suddenly.
What is the history of Dragon Throne? How long has the city been here?
Is it at least?
Well, Dragon Throne itself predates the Shattering. I'm afraid we don't have very many records from before that war.
Oh,
Did
great.
the war reach here?
The fighting itself did not. The city was protected. But there were a number of saboteurs, agents that made their way through the city. There were a number of fires caused. There was a disease that ran rampant around that time. It was suspected that it was deliberately caused. Somebody who had this disease was brought into the city, into one of the more crowded districts, and let loose.
This is unsettling.
The population of that time was nearly wiped out. Our best records estimate between 75 and 80% of the people who lived on this continent were killed in that Great War. And really, it's only been relatively recently that a number of smaller civilizations, the smaller towns, have been sent out and repopulated.
What sort of disease does it say that it was?
Plague of some kind. Pox.
Lauren,
Yes.
I would like
seems-
to sit down for 10 minutes and cast Legend Lore on this place.
Yeah, because something is suspect.
Okay. On Dragon Throne itself, on the catacombs in
On
particular.
the catacombs in particular.
Room.
Yeah. Let's go with the catacombs. The particular of the Legend Lore spell says, describe a person, place, or object. So let's go with the catacombs.
Albard, you're with Val right now, right? Because y'all are going to interrogate the dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Because you know how dragon do, and you would be helpful here. But that's okay.
Lauren, do I have any knowledge on, specifically acid breathing would be black if it was chromatic, or would I have any knowledge?
Yeah, what is the...
Black or copper would...
We encountered the copper clockwork with all the acid when Casey
So would I have any knowledge of me being just draconic nature on how dragon do?
What exactly are you asking? Because yes, you have some knowledge of dragons, not as much as Halberd, for example.
Would this lair? Does this feel like it could have been or is possibly a lair of some type, or is it just a travel point that he might have used?
Make a nature check.
And what I know mainly, I'm also thinking about how big these caverns are. Could I guess how big a dragon would have moved through here? Is this like, we're talking like ancient size? Like, are these like 20 foot by 20 foot massive caverns? Or are these like smaller? Am I having trouble? Like,
oh no, the caverns themselves are large. You remember the one that you originally entered into was like essentially four stories.
but they're not shrinking any below that, are they? Or are they all the caverns that big?
There are a few that are slightly smaller and some that are much larger. The ones that you're passing through are various sizes. You're staying mostly into the tunnels, actually. You've only passed through 3 of the caverns themselves.
But these tunnels, could dragon fit in tunnel?
Not the tunnels, no.
Okay.
Not ancient dragons, at least. The tunnels were excavated by some sort of humanoid to connect the
cavern.
The caverns themselves.
But cavern be ancient.
And those
Yes, the caverns
cavern
are
ancient, but tunnels new?
Okay.
Is that what I'm understanding?
Caverns predate the tunnels, and the tunnels were excavated later.
Okay.
Okay, so it was, I misspoke then, but the tunnels, okay.
It is okay.
Cool. That's kind of what I was curious about, was dragon size.
So, shoot, I didn't even realize these caverns were that bloody huge. I was not picturing that. Is there, I mean, are these just these huge voids under the ground? There's nothing in there?
No, a number of the caverns are lit. You're seeing evidence of people in them. Like I said, mostly you're staying in the tunnels. Like the tunnels and the pathways that Sarai is leading you through. You're seeing where they branch off.
But so these caverns...
The caverns themselves are much larger. Like I said, you're seeing evidence of people living there. There are little room dividers set up. Some areas of some signs of people who live there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Dollars and cents.
Okay. As for legend lore, give me half a moment.
Also, I'm scared now.
Talk amongst yourselves for a brief moment. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I have everything I need to include in this.
I like this spell, Jordan.
Huh?
Yeah.
I like this spell, Jordan.
Thank you. I'm glad. I've been carrying around components for this, just trying not to cast it unnecessarily. But
it's an expensive spell, isn't it?
It's expensive, yeah. The 400, I think there's 400, either 200 or 400 worth of ivory strips that don't get consumed, thankfully. So those I keep, but then like the 200 gold of incense.
Yeah,
does get
I got
consumed.
Incense. It's cheap stuff.
Yeah, but not when you need 200 gold of it.
Yeah, this is about to be smelling a lot in here.
So,
just like sticking incense all around.
Yeah, it's 200 gold of ivory strips that don't get consumed, and 250 of incense, which do get consumed.
Yeah.
We're basically just sitting, and he just lined incense up around him in a circle.
You're casting this on
one of those like adult coloring book like patterns, around me. So it's like you light a chain reaction. It's very cool.
Flower.
So, Jordan, you're casting this for the bag of cats, right?
Legend lore? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm using a 5th level spell slot and 250 gold worth of components on a cat bag.
Yep.
That's how Tiamat's getting into the city.
Can I change
is through
that
the
request,
bag.
Lauren? Is it too late?
It's a Gucci bag.
Last week I made a reference to Gex. Anybody remember that game?
Yes.
Like this one? I was thinking about it after the game, and like I go online and I found a playthrough someone did of the whole game. And when we had it, when the neighbor kids had it, we would never get past like the graveyard area. So I'm sitting here watching this, and I'm like, "Wow, there's more game." It was enlightening or something. I don't know. So y'all are busy interrogating Yoshi. How's that going?
We'll get to that in just a moment.
Yoshi?
Legend lore.
Dragon.
Quesador. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay.
I am sure. Yes.
The catacombs of Dragenthrone predate the city itself. Originally the lair of the black dragon Anderon, the Dark Destroyer, the city claimed the cave system after the dragon's death at the hands of a traveling group of adventurers. The catacombs currently house the Resistance and followers of Vanera, Oracle of Bahamut, in addition to those unfortunate enough to fall out of favor with those above for one reason or another.
Can we get the name
Anybody
of
else get like just this chill
Anderon,
down their
the black
spine?
Anderon?
Anderon.
Anderon, the Dark Destroyer.
Well, hey, you know what? It's not just Vina, so that's good.
That was my
Like-
absolute fear.
Good
You
note,
think?
not just Vina.
You think that's good?
Anderon.
Love
the
it.
Traveling group of
Jordan.
adventurers that killed the dragon.
I was gonna say, Jordan, did you record her? That's
I love it. I love it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's
Instant playback.
amazing. Gold star for Jordan.
How do you take notes? On my phone?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't have my notebook today, so I was like,
Whatever works.
But then it's
wow.
not like, oh, I have this written down. She's like, I'm not sure if I said that. It's like, I have your voice.
Also, we have your
no.
voice.
Edit.
I will say, for legend lore and for things like that, I have about 3 pages of things that you might ask about. And for things like this, I type it out and read it to you so that I know
Right.
exactly what I said and what information you have about it.
Cool.
Oh, Anderon the Dark Destroyer, huh?
Yeah, we know he was killed by and it's all related to this, obviously, that this was Anderon, the first cave, and he was killed by a band of traveling adventurers, and that the city, let me see. The city claimed the system after his death, so it doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything about a relation between the band of adventurers that killed the dragon and the people who started the city, but just that this band of adventurers killed the dragon, and then the city was started after that.
I can't stand a group of people who killed a dragon.
That is never what she has said, but sure.
It's because it was a young dragon. That's why she.
I know. Didn't get
That's also not what she said, but sure.
That's okay. Hey,
Moving on.
All right. I'd like to get y'all to where you actually meet Vanera today.
I'm
That'd be
trying.
nice.
All right. So let's go ahead
We
and
keep
let's
going.
get there. Sarai leads you through the tunnel system. And as y'all are going, the caverns that y'all have to go through, that she takes you through, are becoming more and more ornately decorated, more and more well established. You pass a tunnel that has been significantly more excavated than any of the others. It is about 30 foot wide, 18 or so feet high. Oh, this one's not secret. It is well lit. There are decorations carved into the stonework. It is essentially a highway. This is where you're starting to see people coming and walking. It's starting to get more of a sense of life in this underground
Do
area.
they seem concerned that we're there, or nah?
Make an insight check.
And we're with Sarai, right?
Yes, Sarai is leading y'all.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good idea to see the state of the peoples.
Y'all are a
Yeah.
heavily armed group following a cleric of
You said insight?
insight.
That is a total of 11.
Question going along with that, Lauren, are we seeing mostly common races or are we seeing like tiefling and drow and Duergar as well?
You can make a perception check also. Doran, they don't seem to be particularly concerned at your presence. They see Sarai. A couple of them smile. One of them waves at her, and she waves back. She seems to be a fairly beloved figure.
I waved back, thinking that it was me they were waving to, even though it's not, because she was behind me.
You get a brief moment of confusion and then another wave.
I just have my head down as I'm walking the whole time, trying not to draw attention.
Yeah, you've got your hood up, you said, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to be inconspicuous.
Person.
I'm super good at it.
I'm being a goober.
The very, very tall dragonborn, heavily armored, clunking his way through. Yeah, you're as inconspicuous as you can be.
Yep.
I wish we could get more mithril, make you some quiet boy armor.
But remember, Celiax, a lot of people in Dragon Throne don't actually know what you look like. You were kept fairly cloistered and kept away from the common
Which is
folk.
what I'm 100% counting on.
Lauren, that's a Pokemon. You're being silly.
Oh, cloister. Yeah. Took me just a moment. Wow.
Never mind.
Rye.
13.
I'm the nerd.
What was that again?
13.
13. You're not seeing any more uncommon races at the moment. You're seeing a couple of Dragonborn, a lot of human, a couple of dwarven folk, a couple halflings, actually. You seem very happily moving around down here.
Folk over here.
As y'all are heading through this thoroughfare, opens up into the largest cavern you have seen yet. There is a bright reflection of light from the top of the cavern, and as you look up, you can see it looks like it's actually like gold plated, where the top of the cavern itself is completely sealed over and just like liquid gold was poured over it. The entire ceiling is just lined with it. So it reflects a lot of light. It's very warmly lit in here. And it is almost almost like yeah, very much like that. And
Cool.
the people are much more crowded in here. There are a number of stalls and shops, little areas that have been set up. There's one like sort of more central cooking area where there is a large creature of some kind that is being turned on a spit, rotisserie style. A number of people sort of hawking goods and calling out various items for sale. As y'all are passing through, Sarai leads you not through the main center of it, but sort of around the side and down one of the sort of side alleys to one of the half dozen tunnels that lead out of this main sort of central chamber. And the noise follows you. As you go through the next tunnel, there's more religious iconography that is carved into or painted onto the tunnel walls. And as you go through, a couple of minutes later, you are led through a series of tunnels into a slightly smaller cavern where the floor is just lined with rugs. There are a number of sort of braziers that are lit and burning merrily away. And seated on a little, like, plumped up pillow with a doll is Venera. Sarai enters in and says, Venera, we have company. And the little blind girl sort of turns her head, not quite directly at Sarai. The lack of eye contact is still a bit disconcerting. But she smiles and says, "How do you be welcome? Have they arrived yet, Sarai?"
Hello.
You're here! I knew it wouldn't be long. I knew it wouldn't. Hello. And she gets up from her spot and starts walking over almost in a straight line.
I'll go up to her.
Yeah.
I move up to her and sort of put my hand out and sort of grab her so she can figure out where I'm at.
Halberd, you do see a carved walking
He's
stick.
not there.
Oh, not there. Never mind. Who else has perception 18 or above that is here?
Cave door.
Kazator. So Kazator would see a carved walking stick, vaguely familiar, that has been laid lovingly just to the side of the tunnel entrance as y'all come in. As y'all enter in, Vanera comes and she hugs Soliex's heavily armored form as high up as she can get, which is still only just like waist. She's still itty bitty. It's like, I've been waiting. What took you so long?
Well, a lot of ground trouble. Also, we had to make a detour to the Feywild. Terrible place. Don't suggest it. But apparently we were gone for 2 days, and like a month passed here. It's really weird. So, sorry it took so long to get here. I tried to get here faster, but I can't travel distance quickly. So I'm kind of at the mercy of my friends.
Well, I guess it's good that you're here now.
Right.
You are here to help, right?
Why else would I be here? Of course, to see you. That's what I mean. I'm here to see you.
Oh, I missed you, Soliex.
Missed you too. How are you doing? It's good to see that you are set up here fairly well. I hear you've been causing quite the stir up top.
They say I've been saying the weirdest things. I don't remember it. If I'm going to say these things, I at least want to remember.
I don't remember half the things I say.
That is true. That's very true.
But that's just because I'm a blubbering idiot. You're speaking for a god, so you have an excuse. I don't think I have one.
You see a sort of shadow of Arg pass over her face.
Here, we can trade places. You can be the blubbering idiot, and I can be the voice for a god.
That is a deal. I will take that. And she
I
puts
take
out
it
her
back,
little
I don't
hand
want
to try and shake.
Nope, never mind. Change mine. I don't want it.
No take backs. No take backs.
Nope, you didn't say that beforehand.
You're going to hurt
That's
her
not
feelings.
fair. Is that Doran?
That one's Doran. And Kazator's here, and a new friend is here. Her name is Rai.
Rai? And she turns and tries to sort of pinpoint where exactly Rai's at.
I'll move forward and actually kneel down in front of her and put my hands out so that she can sort of tell where I'm at and say, "Yes, darling, my name is Rai."
And she puts her hands in your hands, and then she curtsies, and as best as she can, a little 7 years old. She's not super graceful with it yet. She says, "It's very nice to meet you, Miss Rai."
You as well, sweetling.
Is Soliex being nice? Is he making new friends?
About that.
Oh, I'm so glad I'm not in the room right now.
Well,
Doran is silently but very expressively laughing at and pointing at the Dragonborn.
one makes acquaintances before one makes friends, so I would say that much is happening.
Oh, but if you know him well enough to travel, you must be friends. Sarai doesn't let me travel with anyone who's not a friend of hers.
A friend of Sarai's, and so I am a friend of Bahamut's, thus I travel with him.
And she sort of gives you like a squinty-eyed, sort of off-center look. It's like, I think I like you.
Oh God, yes.
Well, sweetling, I think I like you too.
You
I think I like her too. It's okay.
Rude.
Very good. This is very good.
It's a little late for dinner. I had dinner a little bit ago, but I can have dessert while you have dinner. Sarai, can I have dessert while they have dinner?
Yes, Sarai, we must have dessert.
And Sarai just sort of chuckles. It's like, I suppose so. But bedtime immediately after. We must still take care of ourselves.
I'll lean into Vanera and say, we'll just make sure we eat dessert very, very slowly.
And Vanera sort of nods. She's like, yes! And she leans in to try and whisper, I'll tell Sarai, but I had dessert earlier. This is going to be my second!
Oh, very good. Good job.
And so she chuckles. She goes around to hug all of y'all eventually and to welcome y'all in.
Yay!
Go ahead and pause at this point and jump into where Halberd and Val are at with the kobold.
No, we're having a happy moment.
Yeah.
Why?
Juxtaposition! I love it!
This is not going to be a happy moment.
Meeting of this little girl.
Little child torturing a kobold.
And now we're going to go back to Torture Town! Yes!
This is going to be bad.
Juxtaposed from the meeting of a little girl to, we're going to go torture a tiny lizard man. Yay!
Camera pans back through a
Fire
circle,
knife.
zooming through the way that y'all came, and opens back in this cavern, the entrance to the catacombs. Val
Like the
and
opening of Ocarina of Time.
Yes.
Nice.
I
appreciate that reference.
The kobold chieftain is just starting to stir from
got
the
you.
consciousness, still all bundled up in the net. What are y'all doing?
Halberd, would you prefer to translate, or would you prefer me to talk direct? You'll be able to understand me regardless, but...
See what he does and how he reacts, and
Reacts
base
to
off
which?
that, whichever one you so desire.
Let's start with translating. I'll save the spell for if I actually need it. I'm going to be honest and upfront that I don't plan on this being a gentle conversation. So...
That was Garrett
Particular-
laughing outdoor.
At this particular point, there's not just a little girl's life at stake, but an entire town. And in my opinion, that justifies taking whatever means necessary to gather whatever information we can. Are you comfortable with that, or am I going to have to worry about you jumping in and knocking me unconscious?
Only if you deserve it, mate.
Well, okay. That being said, I'm going to try not to deserve it too much.
I think the biggest questions I have is where does he come from and why is he down there? How long has he been down there? And
Okay.
who is he with?
Yeah, that's fair.
Where does it go? Where did it come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
So I'm
sorry,
going
being too
to...
chosen.
I'm going to let him come to consciousness.
Okay.
Sit him up real... I am going to have him, like, sitting up so he can... He's not just laying on the ground. Oh, you suck.
I'm going to... Before you revive,
I'm
or
not reviving.
before you sit him up and like remove masks and all that, I'm gonna whisper in your ear, "This guy's alive,"
Oh, that's...
and I'm going to pull out my Brotherhood pendant and kind of lay it and sit behind Val and make sure that Val has no image or picture or color of Bahamut present.
No. Val's just wearing his armor.
Mm-hmm. Good deal.
Speaking of which, Val's going to... I'm going to change my armor to a set of black robes with a hood.
Okay.
With my...
So you're altering the glamour.
Yes. I was like, there's a thing, and I appreciate you knowing words better than I do. So I'll let him come to consciousness, and I'll let Halberd. I'll start with letting Halberd translate. But once he's fully like awake and aware, I'll ask, "Do you have a name?"
He sort of looks at you, and rather than the whole like we're just gonna do the translation in progress.
Well, that's no fun.
So he says, "Food first."
I will reach into my pack and pull out a strip of the jerky. No, I'm not grabbing a cat. I saw those looks.
There's plenty of that.
I'll grab a strip of jerky and I will.
He's got that bag anyway.
I'll place it on his lap in front of him.
Cat jerky.
Where he's tied up and cannot reach it.
Exactly. And so, my question first, then I will give you the food.
Your question first, and then you untie my hands, and I get the food.
I already asked the question. Do you have a name?
Yes. Now untie my hands. I want the food.
I will not be untying your hands, but I'll pick up the beef jerky and hold it to where he can eat it.
Make a.
I was waiting for it.
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Oh, persuasion. Okay, that was not what I thought you were about to say. Oh, those are both good rolls. 14.
Okay. He sort of looks at you. Then he leans forward and tries to bite your hand where you're holding the food.
All right.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
I was gonna say, Val's very much expecting that. Oh yeah. That'd be a modified 20.
Okay. So you managed to jerk your hand back enough to where his jaws clack, catching a little bit of the jerky, but missing your hand itself.
Yeah.
I'd like to snap and point and have Nightbane reach him and pick him up with his tentacle from behind.
Okay. As Nightbane picks him up, he starts screeching and swearing again. He's like, "No, bad kitty, bad! Let me down! Let me down!"
In Draconic, I'm going to say this one doesn't listen to you.
His eyes sort of dart over to you, and he's still struggling against the net and against Nightbane, and trying to turn and bite, and he's just not able to do anything. He's effectively just flailing in the air a little bit, and he turns and he swears at you, and he's like, "No, screw you! I'm gonna try and do my own thing."
I'll hold up the jerky and say, "If you want to play nice, I will feed you. But try to bite at me again, and I will remove your ability to taste anything."
Oh, dang.
Make an intimidation check.
That is a 18.
18. He turns and he looks at you. Play nice. Free my hands, I will feed myself, and I won't bite you again.
I don't trust your hands being free, but
I don't trust you having me tied up.
That's a fair point, but as we did eliminate most of those that were with you, and at this particular moment, you do not have any bargaining power, I'll give you the option. You can take the food gently from my hand, and if you answer more of my questions, we can discuss more favors. Or I can feed you to the cat.
You want answers. If you want answers, you're gonna have to let me go.
That is definitely for discussion. But answers first.
No. Hands first, then answers.
Looking at him, how I know we wrapped him in a net. How hard would it be to free his hands, give his hands the ability to move without freeing the rest of him? Like literally from the wrist to fingertips.
It would take some very careful cutting, but it's possible.
I'll look over at Halberd and Common. Do you have the ability to free just from wrist to fingertip?
Do you want me to free his hands the way he freed his answer?
No, just to give them the ability to move. If he wants to play word games, we'll play word games for a moment.
I figure I might be able to. But
I could do it. I just trust your abilities more than I do mine at the moment.
I'm also just very much aware that the ones who actually wanted answers from him decided to go inside, so I don't know anyone in our group here who wants answers from him.
I have several questions I want answers from. That's the reason I'm out here.
Fantastic.
We're talking common.
They can understand common.
Can he? Thought he had
Because it's common.
Y'all don't know. Where he's at right now, he's still flailing against Nightbane.
We could always switch to Elven.
No. I'll go ahead, walk forward, pull out a dagger. Just make 2 little bitty incisions. 1 incision first. Alright. Give me your left hand in Draconic.
He looks at you. Make a persuasion check.
Val's just sitting there holding the jerky.
Natural 20.
Nice. So he looks at you and then very hesitantly tries to shift his left hand. Does it go through the hole?
Yeah, I made it big enough where he could stick that
Okay.
hand out. I'm gonna look at him.
He sticks it through.
Gonna take a piece of rope, tie it around the left hand, cut a little hole for the right hand. Next one.
This is not the deal. Hands free is the deal.
No,
You want
hands
answers,
off.
I want hands.
Well, I tell you what, mate. I don't really care. I can free your hands from your body this way or another way.
Make an intimidation check.
Not nearly as good. That's a 15.
Free his hands. Free his hands. Free his hands.
He slowly sticks his other hands through.
I'm gonna go ahead, wrap them, not tight, but enough that if he wants to do something other than what, just like moving arms from hands to mouth, he's gonna have to struggle to get out. So it's not like they're burning or biting into his flesh. It's just a restraint and control.
Okay. So you've got most of his body trussed up. He has essentially from enough of his hands and forearms free where he can bend down and feed himself.
And so, all right, now your hands are free. What's your name?
They call me Garrick.
And I'll hand him a piece of beef jerky.
And he takes it and he stuffs it in his mouth.
I'll see. That wasn't so difficult. How long have you lived down here?
He gestures for another piece of beef jerky.
I'll reach into my pack and I'll pull out like the handful of strips that I've got, and kind of like where you see them putting the dollars down in negotiating things. I'll just put one strip down in front of us, not where he can reach it. Just I'll put one strip down.
He waits, sort of raises an eyebrow. If kobolds could look judgmentally with the eyebrow raise, he's like, uh-huh. No, that green pebbled skin just raises up.
I'll gladly add more to the pile after you've told me how long you've lived down here.
My whole life.
I swear to God, if she says 11 days, I'm gonna lose it.
5.
I can't be that derivative.
Since the beginning of time, 5 years. I'll take another strip and put it and add it to the pile. Do you talk to anybody from the surface, or do you live down here with your brethren?
You put one more strip down, that's it?
Yeah, just one more strip down.
He stays silent.
I'll look at him. Do I get the feeling like he's holding out for more?
Yes. That's very much what you get.
I'll-
With your
I'll- I'll
insight,
take-
you'll do that.
I'll take another strip and put it down.
He's like, we sometimes talk.
I'll take the last 2 strips in my hand, and I'll put them on the pile, and say, "Who do you talk to on the surface?"
We serve the dragon.
That's bad.
That's not the question I asked. The question I asked was, "Who do you talk to?"
The dragon. We serve.
Can you just? There'll be more food here in a second. Just so I understand what you're saying. Can you differentiate between dragonborn and true dragons?
And he looks at you and he's like, gives you this, what are you, an idiot? Just no duh sort of look.
Oh, that's fine.
It's like we know who we serve.
And I'll look over and point at Halberd's Brotherhood symbol that he pulled out. Are you referring to those dragons?
The lady?
Oh. Well, I guess you may know. Maybe you're not high enough in the pecking order to know exactly yet.
Garrick knows who he serves.
Oh, so you know all of the ladies.
The lady, she comes. The dark hair, the pale skin. She comes and we serve.
Oh, shoot. From Val's experience in a certain tower, does that sound familiar?
You do recall that Dresmina did have pale skin. She did have dark hair. You saw her transforming into the black dragon form.
Yay!
Oh, Jay just went into full
Story development.
mode.
Acid tunnel. Yeah. I'm gonna die.
What'd you say, Brenda? If you said something, you're muted.
Brenda, you're still muted.
Hey, Brenda, you're muted.
I wasn't. I was talking to myself.
I'll reach down to the pile and I'll hand him another strip of jerky.
He takes it and he takes a big bite out of it and starts chewing with his mouth open, just staring at you.
And I'll say, so then I'll look over at Halberd and I'll do this because this could be fun. I'll walk behind him and I'll put my hand on the back of his head and cast tongues.
Okay.
And then I'll look over at Halberd so he'll be able to understand everything I say. For as long as
you
go
cast
ahead.
tongues on Halberd or on the
On
kobold?
Garrick.
Okay.
So basically giving him the chance to eavesdrop into the conversation from my end.
Okay. I gotcha.
But doing it from behind him so that he doesn't know I just cast a spell on him.
Sure.
Or at least attempting to.
Subtle spells are not your forte, but sure.
I mean, true. So I'll look over at Halberd and it looks like this little one actually serves the master as well. I have not seen her in quite some time. I wonder when the last time he's seen her has been. Do you think he actually speaks with the master?
A peasant like this? I doubt it. I imagine. Made things up, read some sort of scrolls, dropping information here and there. Probably doesn't actually know as much as he says he does, nor is he as valuable as he thinks he is. He's not proven anything to me just yet, so I don't know if I see the reason for his existence in our organization.
Does he react to any of that?
Go ahead and make a deception check, both of you.
What did you say when she threw it? 3-1. Fireball.
She's angry with you.
Aw. It's only a 15 on my end.
Okay.
16.
16.
I rolled a 16. Stupid -5.
Okay. He seems pretty affronted when you call him a peasant. Like his body gets all puffed up, and you can see sort of the offendedness
Sewer. Of course he's a
on his
peasant.
face. He takes his sharp teeth and he just hisses at you.
Oh, you look about as terrifying as the cat in your bag.
Okay, I'll give you a chance to actually tell us, to prove that you're not just some peasant.
I don't know if... Do you think the sister might be mad?
I don't know. She
Dropping
might
the name and the image.
claiming to speak with the masters himself. That might be a bit much. We know where we go to speak with her. Where do you go to speak with her?
She comes when she has things to speak. We do not dare approach her.
Oh, so you're not allowed to approach. That's so sad.
Peasants.
Peasants. Does she actually come down all the way to your den that we invaded, or does she come down and you have a specific cavern to meet her in?
She comes to the holy place. We are not peasants. We commune with her. We worship her. We give her the gifts we collect. You know nothing of what she likes. We give her what she needs.
And I'll actually pull out the journal and say, "Oh, I'm sure," the one that we took from her tower, and say,
You gonna get us killed.
"Oh, the lady has given me a way to learn all about her and her likes and dislikes. Matter of fact, she wrote this one for me personally." And I'll stick it back in my pouch and say, "She has such a fondness for experimentation, learning new things. Oh, it's just too bad you haven't been to her tower. You've actually been to her tower personally. Do you know when next she plans to visit you, or does she even announce her arrival to you?"
Make a persuasion check.
Natural 20 for a 19.
Okay.
Ah! I'm not very good at the persuasion stuff.
Natural 20 for a 19.
Garrett, just for reference, I'm the only one who's rolled a 0 in this campaign.
No,
So
I don't think that's
far.
true.
So far.
I think I rolled I think I rolled a 0 at the strength check.
That sounds right. Like early days.
Yeah, you may have. You're right.
I still could, to be fair.
really funny.
So 19. Sorry.
I'm not trying to doo-doo on you guys. It's just that's really funny when that can happen.
Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So his eyes sort of lock onto where the journal had been. He's like, "Oh, the lady. She lets you up in the tower. She does not deign to let us know when she arrives. She arrives and she speaks. It is what she does. And he sort of has this new respect in his eyes. You can see this new demeanor. He's forgotten about the half a jerky piece he has in his hand, at least momentarily, as his eyes sort of latch onto the two of you.
Is there anything you can tell us? And we might even could arrange for your visit to the tower. Anything that you could tell us about what she expects from you. I know you said you bring her gifts, but do you know why she asks for those gifts?
She loves the shinies. We bring her shinies, and the sparky booms, and the pretties, that they shimmer, and she likes them.
Oh, I'm well aware. She's gifted us many shinies, and of course, and I'll point to the 5-star emblem. And of course, you know, we've met her sister, the lady in red. You might have heard of.
Sister? There's more?
There are more. There's so much more you don't know. We could teach you all about them.
But you take the shinies from her? She gives them to... No. She keeps the shinies. She loves the shinies we bring. She would not give them away.
Oh, she doesn't give us your shinies. She gives us different shinies. And I'll pull out... I'll do a... oh, blast. What's this thing called? Minor illusion. And have appear some of the treasure that that we got from her hoard. And just saying, when we do well for her, she gives us a gift to show that we are beloved. And of course, she loves all the shiny gifts that she gets.
You are not like her. You do not love the shinies like she does. She needs the shinies. But I'm confused. She accepts our worship and deigns to allow us to live. What are you to her?
Oh, we are. How best to describe? We are friends. We've even met the lady's daughter.
Friends of the lady? The lady's daughter was scary. We don't want to meet her again.
You actually met her daughter. Maybe you're not quite a peasant.
We are not peasant. I as proud servant of the lady.
Well, alright then, before you go ahead and start dropping her name or her daughter's name, you might as well actually explain yourself. Tell me of the young one, and don't speak ill, otherwise foul things might befall you.
The daughter?
Speak truthfully.
Make a persuasion check.
Nice.
Nope, not nice.
Oh.
That's a nat 1.
Oh! Ouch.
We do not speak of scary daughter with fang and claw. No, we do not speak of her.
as he
You
speaks.
attack you.
We do not speak of her.
Feisty. See, what I would say, my terminology for you, her terminology for you, y'all would be collectors. You might count me as an enforcer of a specific order. You might not speak of her, but she was angry. And I am here to make sure things go according to plan.
Make an intimidation check, Halberd.
That was caught. That was shabby at best. I'm not rolling great right now, so that was like a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
At this point, he takes the other bit of jerky and just stuffs it in his mouth and starts chewing with his mouth open, just glaring at you.
I'm actually gonna, at this point, I'm gonna drop tongues off of him. And look over at Halberd, and just in case, switch over to Elvin. How much do we actually need this one alive? Knowing that he's actually had conversations with one of our enemies, and that she does make her way down here, the last thing I'd want to do is give him the ability to lead her here.
We need to know about where the holy place is.
That's true. Might be worth asking where his holy place is.
That's inappropriate.
You can't just ask people that.
I've been trying to be so good and not say dumb jokes the whole time y'all were having your moment.
Oh man!
Oh, my God,
I think
so
you
good.
broke Brenda.
So good.
Oh nope, she's back.
Have you no shame?
Of course
Have you
not.
no shame?
Just
Oh.
wait for campaign 2. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy
Shall we
it.
ask where the holy place he meets her is at, or I really don't feel well about releasing this one back into the wild, as it were.
No, but
But we
ensnaring
can't
him
keep
and
him.
capturing him might be...
Well, we've already ensnared and captured him.
No, but maintaining that might be beneficial to us in the long run.
I just don't see any purpose in keeping him if we've told us everything. They're little more than collectors, worker ants.
In service of Tiamat.
Well, not that they are aware of, it seems. In service of the Black One. They didn't even know that she had siblings.
I'm so concerned. This is not a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Find out where the holy place is and we'll decide what to do with this one.
all right. You'll have to translate. I dropped the spell, but looking back, switching back to common. We captured you in what looked like a den of sorts. How far away is your holy place where the lady comes and meets you?
It is our holy place. Outsiders not permitted.
And I'm going to kind of just go back very pointedly. Our holy place is in what? Your kobolds? And the Ebenrath? Or everyone in service of the Ebenrath?
Our people. We serve her, the lady.
You didn't answer my question. Just you kobolds or everyone who serves the lady?
Make a persuasion check one more time.
Ooh. Good distinction. Good distinction.
That is better. 18.
18. Those who serve the lady, if she deigns show herself, she meets us in our tunnel, in the heart of our home. Outsiders are not welcome.
The heart of your home where punishment was dealt?
No. You think the heart of our home is so easy to find?
I would
No.
certainly hope not.
No. Where she receives our worship is far distant from that. You have shinies you wish to give her?
I have gifts to bring to her.
Make a deception check.
Aw, snap.
$16. I misread it. I thought I rolled a 17 plus. It was an 11. Dang it.
Find the heart of our home, and you will find where we worship her. If you make it that far. Big, clumsy folk that you are.
Now you're speaking rather hurtful.
I'm still tied up. I'm still hungry. You are hurting me. You are not nice. And I do not need to worship you.
I've never asked you to worship me.
Terrible
Big
person.
folk hoarding wealth, giving gifts, wanting to know how we worship. Keep it for yourself, most like. The lady will take her vengeance. Her wrath will come on you.
I'm only here to dispense the wrath at those who dishonor the lady.
I serve the lady. I serve well.
I think that's about all we need out of this one, don't you?
I'm going to look at him. Ah, dang. Okay. And just say we serve a different lady. And then pull the sword and just decapitate.
Murder, 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 murder.
Isn't Nightbane holding him by the head?
He's holding him
So
up.
literally,
It is like right here.
oh,
Body fall, head stay. Then you play baseball with head.
Now, as you see Halberd, and you've known him long enough, you see how he's gearing up for this. You see where this is going. Make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh my god.
oh, this can't be good.
Fight in the tunnel. No one's here to see it. Somebody's gonna die.
And here we go.
Oh my god.
That was a natural 1 for a 9.
Oh my god.
As you see the
Please don't make me kill Halberd!
building,
You won't.
and Halberd starts to pull out his sword. You are overcome. And it's almost as though your hands start moving without you even telling them to. Pull out your sword. You skewer the kobold exactly as Halberd is taking off his head. The body goes limp from where it has been been held in Nightbane's arms. You feel the. Let me double check this. Yeah. You feel the life force of the kobold fade and be drawn into your person. It is so satisfying.
I knew he was gonna vampire that boy.
Did I?
Yes, you do get the temporary hit points.
Oh gosh.
And I'm just going to
Oh, that's only 3.
look at Val.
Oh darn. Oh darn, you poor baby.
And like, oh, it seems like we had the same idea.
Do I get the inclination that there's a difference in his attitude at that moment? With the 21 perception being able to note body language?
Not perception, this would be insight.
No, body language, though.
It
Would still be insight.
Okay, then a passive of 17.
What would the roll be? If you rolled for it, what would the roll be?
20.
Okay, good deal.
Even better.
At this moment, Val seems ecstatic. Just like experiencing this moment of pure relief. He is
so wrong.
thrilled with this turnout. He is very pleased with what has happened.
Does he need a smoke after, or
Val just starts munching on the beef jerky.
after it was in the kobold's mouth?
No, he had his own, remember? I only gave him 2 pieces of the stack I had.
Peel it out of the decapitated kobold.
Aww. That's
And
so gross.
You're already on a weird kink as it is. I don't know.
Cut the kobold's tongue out.
Chew it.
Yeah. Oh god, we lost Brenda.
Fan art. Anyway.
I think we lost Brenda.
She'll be back.
Oh, there she is.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Killed it.
Oh man. Woo.
Telegraphed in the pregame. Should have seen this coming.
Oh man. Oh.
Y'all wait till next season. Oh boy.
Um,
Then it'll be in character. Too.
So
I'm gonna look at him actually and ask, like, so, are you still reconciling your death?
I have at this particular moment, am I still feeling the euphoria, or am I?
Oh yeah, the euphoria is not fading quickly. It is,
Okay.
it is
Lovely
lasting
word
longer
choice.
and longer
Lovely.
with each kill.
That is such a wonderful word choice. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'll pull out my little piece of cloth and clean off the blade and just stare at the blood. And, well, as Rye said, it's only a situation if you make it one. And I'm still here, which means that obviously Sandy needs me for something. And she is the Lady of Death, so I will stay in its company until she deigns release me.
I'm going to just
And
shake my head a little bit and turn. Death changes people, not everyone for the better. And I would say if that's the advice you took from Rye, it wasn't the best advice. I'm going to whistle for Nightbane and have him just like toss the head against the wall and just follow me inside.
I don't think we should leave that out here for everyone to see. That'd be gross. And I'll start working.
Val, cover your shame.
Yeah, Val's gonna start working on burying the body.
Okay. Did you roll the d6 for more temporary hit points?
Yeah, 3 points.
3.
So
Thank
did this
you.
fall or did they reset
That's not
after?
good.
I haven't figured that out yet. We haven't slept.
You
See,
know
that'll
that
be
they
the next
did
part.
roll over. The very first one that you did, the one that you got from Killing Glory, has rolled over from the day before.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. So my temporary hit points should be even higher then.
Bad.
You should be at 19 temporary hit points.
Yeah. I'm not.
In a fight, so he did lose some.
She's tracking it, dude. That's
I know
the
she's
problem.
tracking it. It's terrifying.
You should be actually at 16 because you did lose 3 during the fight, I believe.
Oh no, you're right. Okay, so I was at 16. Okay, I was right. Woo!
The
Yay!
cat's got you.
Because I
You're gonna
remember
hit
that
some
was the
magic
thing. You
number.
were like, "Oh, I got hurt," but wait, it was only the temporaries.
DM, I'm still down a hit die, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. I only have 1 marked off, so if I'm supposed to mark 1 off each time,
For
well,
right now, you're okay.
Not until you sleep again, I'm sure.
I know. Oh god, I am so terrified of going to sleep. Like,
You're gonna hit some magic number of temporary hit points, whereby you just become permanently and irreparably possessed.
It's gonna be a hit point to hit die ratio, and it's gonna be bad.
Oh, it's gonna be glorious, and
No, she died.
I'm terrified.
And we don't know anything about this yet. Like, we don't understand he's possessed.
No, Halbert's probably got the closest.
He's gonna
Oh, yeah.
kill all
I know things ain't right.
But you don't know if it's.
So you know that eye I was giving your dad?
I mean,
I got you in that eye now.
legitimately, though.
Stay back
some
inside
of us
talking
are
to us about this.
suspicious, at least.
Yeah, so let's go back to the joy of talking to a child.
By the way, I'm not going to go see Veneer tonight. That is not happening.
So, I mean, she won't see you anyway. So.
Oh!
I never mentioned her,
Wow.
but you said me.
All right, moving on.
I'm
Okay.
a terrible person.
So, the two of you don't have a guide.
You find Norman. You'll be fine.
Hard.
Yeah, is Norman coming back down the tunnel?
He has long since come back. Like the early in the discussion that you were having about the time that you were cutting the hands free of the kobold, Norman was walking past and had figured out it was a dead end and was heading back towards the other caverns.
I was like, as she said, cutting the kobolds. I'm like, if he walked by right as we decapitated this thing,
Norman's eyes
so
like
bad.
bigger than his glasses.
So what are y'all doing?
Me?
I'm burying a body, and I think Halberd walked off.
I would like to see if I can pick out the group's tracks through the dirt.
There's not a whole lot of dirt in here. It is pretty bare stone.
Perfect.
There's some bare evidence of their passage, but not much. Not enough to really track by that.
Nope. I will just ponder and walk until I find a nice place to kind of sit down and bed down for the night.
Howard solution. Well, I'm lost. All right.
I'm gonna also like take note of my turns and everything, so that I know how to get back.
You do note Nightbane does sort of snuffle at the ground, and some of the cats, the two of the cats that were still with y'all,
Yay!
y'all had 4 total, I believe. 2 that had stuck around Nightbane, and then the 2 that Fowl had been holding that are now just sort of wandering loose.
The amount of cats is just sort of the superfluous number.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find some kids to do things too.
It's Schrodinger's cat!
No,
But
I had
Nightbane
some
does sort of
kind
seem to
quite
be
delicious.
snuffling the ground and aware of
Jerry.
sense that may be in the passage or not.
Would be so happy.
So,
know, right?
is Nightbane kind of picking out the trail? Can he do that?
That is certainly something that he can do.
Cool. I'm
Whether you ask him to or whether that is what he is actually doing, you
Yeah.
don't know.
No, you said he's got his nose to the ground, so sorry, that was me just confirming he could scent. So I will, all right, bud. Follow our fantastically furry feline friends.
Alliteration.
We're gonna have to figure out where to drop these things off with some kids later on.
Okay.
Yeah, the kitchen's
So-
nice.
We could start a
Over.
pet store of infinite cats.
My
Oh,
entire
restaurant.
hope at the end of it is big bad fight, sell it on top of whatever big bad, and just open it.
Random cat.
Just inside out on his head.
You have a minute for that, right,
Take
Lauren?
this!
Totally. Totally. That's
Tiamat's weakness? Cat allergy.
cat allergy and cake.
Yep.
Wait. It's the ultimate battle. All the warriors, they stand upon the fields of glory. Tiamat, take this! And you turn the bag inside out and boom, it just shoots thousands of cats. It's like Nyan Cat.
It's
just
a
hundreds of
catapult.
them just flying in. They just spew forth into the beast's maw.
Oh.
A strong
Alright.
creature from within.
Just that's an easy punnable word.
So have you cast identify on those yet, Case Store?
Sure.
Have you?
Sure.
Okay. So, You cast Identify on the bag. You find that the bag is actually an extra-dimensional cat paradise. Its interior is divinely designed cat condominium that can comfortably house about 1,000 cats.
Oh my god!
So you emptied
Air,
half
food,
of
and drink they need while keeping them young for as long as they stay in. Youngish. They can get to adulthood, but not past that, essentially. When it unlike lesser bags, the bag of kittens is indestructible. As an action, you can reach inside the bag and pick a cat. Alternatively, you can use your action to place a new cat in the bag. As an action, you can also turn the bag inside out, releasing a flood of cats in a 30-foot speed. This feline flood persists for 1 round as cats tumble and fall, heavily obscuring the area. The ground in a 30-foot circle becomes difficult terrain as the cats scurry about. It expands by 10 feet each turn and lasts for 3d6 turns or until the cats become tired from all of the romping and play.
Oh my god!
Question.
This is
it
Sounds like a nightmare.
So how many cats are in my bag right now?
With the ones that you collected back...
'Cause I'm gonna keep track of this.
Store's bad.
I think you got about 600, right?
Hold up, I have the exact number written down.
598.
I have several questions.
I'm so happy.
You
One
pulled
is,
2 out,
where
so that was
does
down to
item come
998,
from?
and then you
It's
turned out and they lost about 500, so that took you down to 498. You got 2 dozen put back in, which took you back up to 522, and then you got another 98 or so you're at 620, and you've got probably about, at this point, about the group as a whole has about 15 cats that are still within their purview.
This is
I
amazing.
just thought
So
of
what am
something.
I at? I'm at 620
plus
Oh, what did I just
15,
say?
so 635.
635. I am
635.
all right.
So,
Thank you, Casey Tor. This is
15 of
amazing.
those are out and available around you. The others have wandered off.
Rye just sent a Drake hunting for food down a tunnel filled with kittens.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Casey
This is
Tor,
awesome.
this bag is amazing. Thank you so much for letting me know. It's a bag of kittens.
Lauren?
We basically have some weird cross between a bag of holding and magnificent mansion for cats.
Yep. I have
Essentially-
plans. I have so many plans.
Wait
Thank
a
you.
minute. If
Lauren?
K4 polymorphs into a
Is it-
cat, can we put him in?
You don't know.
I was thinking about ways to get in, and that did not cross my mind. And I'm very sad, but I'm very excited.
Garrett, you were saying something?
Well, I have questions. First of which is, where did this item come from? It's wonderful. But the more pertinent question is, so when it says cat, what defines cat? Because there are many felines.
House
Are
cat.
we? Dang.
I am sticking with house cat of various
Okay.
breeds and types.
Okay.
Not displaced.
Garrett's going
Man,
full
I
Tiger
had-
King on this.
I had
Never go full
thought,
Tiger King.
because we already have another cat. What if we could get more of those? And would that be?
He does not fit in the bag.
Fair enough. But man, I
Oh.
wanted to, even though it's not technically my item because I haven't claimed it.
No, I thought about it. I appreciate you thinking about it
So
too.
All right, before we get too sidetracked, let's go ahead and we will end the session here and pick up at this point to next session. All right, guys.
When-
Oh my
Wow.
gosh!
We've already devolved the discussion a little bit. We're already a little off track.
So
Yes, Doran.
just to clarify, though, we will start when we've taken our rest or when we're going to sleepy time.
We will start with the group reuniting that evening with Vanera and Sarai.
Okay. So
With
now
Nightbane
we
leading
and the
Halberd. Actually, question. Halberd, did
Answer.
you wait for Val to bury the body?
No, I did not.
All right, so Val is on his own in the tunnel somewhere. Halberd is following Nightbane to the rest of the group, and that is where we will pick up at the beginning.
Yes! Oh, this is gonna be hilarious.
and at some point, I still want to have a conversation with Vanera. So
Yes.
awesome.
So we will pick up at that point. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for our shenanigans. I told you, Symphony of Madness.
Yes, yes.
catastrophe of cats.
A catastrophe indeed.
Hold that
Thank you
thought.
for
I
coming
got
along
mine.
on this adventure with us. We hope that you stay safe and stay healthy until you can join us again. Thank you very much. Y'all have a wonderful week.
Bye.